me, Gotthini. How are you? Is everybody in chat doing good? Wasting resources. Purple, purple, purple. Hello. I can't see anybody. It's so weird to do this Beer Brigade spotlight without being able to see you. Hello? Am I talking to me?
Hi, Gotthini.
So, go ahead, ask me questions. This happens sometimes when you're a lady. When you're a lady, your hair falls off.
You're moving pretty good for being in a wheelchair.
Yeah, well, I have a new model where you can stand, and it's very nice. So, okay. All right, guys. I had a great chat. Goodbye.
Look at Mom. She looks you.
She doesn't look very amused. Goodbye.
May we present to you the real Gotthini.
The one who does all the work on the servers. Hello, that's Gothtini up there. I'm Joe.
Hi, guys.
There's going to be a WoW guild hosted by BGG. No, there will not be. BGG. If you see a EOJGGB, it's not me. Okay, if you see a character name that says EOJGGB, that's not me. So, all right, everybody's gonna get all excited about Gotthini. For God's sakes, I've never understood why you're so goddamn popular on the stream, Gotthini. Jesus.
Because I'm awesome, duh.
And she's modest. So, okay, all right. So I'm gonna let Matt fire up his game so that we get some gameplay going here, and then we can get talking. Okay, is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's talk about this here first. What's going on the shelf behind you? Jesus.
I like to collect the figures, like action figures and statues
That's
and stuff like that.
Cool as hell. My daughter said you're pretty.
Aw, thank you.
You know, you never say I'm handsome. Just Mackie. Thank you for gifting that to Thurlows. Spirit Stroke, thank you very much. Thank you very much, dude. Said Matt's pretty too. I heard it. Oh, okay. Thank you, baby. So, what was it that was making the camera not work?
I have no idea. It was just sitting on loading constantly.
Okay. Well, I'm really liking the purple lipstick, by the way.
Why isn't my
Thank you.
Why isn't my thing showing up now?
Now Matt's game's not showing up. I am literally done. I'm going to find a job. I am literally going to go find a job because apparently we cannot stream. Guys, we apparently cannot stream. Because we are no bueno. Go down to the other thing. No, don't change that.
I'm changing it.
Huh? That's the problem right there. Audio device to 1 is one thing. Should be on microphone. Matt's capture card's not working now, guys.
Oh no.
Hold on 1 second, guys.
Oh my god. Matt's dead too. Oh my god.
Did you stay logged in again?
No.
No, now his capture card's not working. Okay, well Matt's not dead. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Still got Teeny. Awkward sitting here. What did I do? I'm not even in there. So it's supposed to be on 1, which is right. And I don't remember I did this the other day. Now I have to do it all over. Go look at my scene real quick and see what it looks like. Capture cards aren't working at all right now, actually. Is Skype causing a problem with the capture cards, I wonder?
I mean, it shouldn't, but I mean, it probably is.
None of the capture cards are working right now.
And this is why Skype sucks.
Yeah, dude, I completely agree. You're on yours again? KW Cox. Bitch struck. Thank you, sir. Discord video when it causes problems. Discord was not working 2 hours ago.
For that 6-month resub, guys. High parts and beer trucks in the chat, please.
I know. Well, no, her spotlight is technically not started yet, so just saying.
Wait, spotlight over? Yay!
Gotthini, you did so fantastic, by the way. You did so fantastic.
Especially with the pink hat.
I thought that was really. I thought you looked good, girl. You know what I mean? No. The problem is right now, like the drivers aren't showing up for our capture cards. How long have we known Gotthini? How long you? It's been over a year now, right?
Let's see. Oh.
God, look at all those hours, guys.
Following.
That caused my computer not to recognize my graphics card.
A year and 3 months and 2 weeks.
A year and 3 months. Good God, Gotthini, it's a long time. That's actually a really long time. So hold on. We just have to kind of come up with something here, guys.
Play solitaire on the streaming computer. Then you don't have to capture it.
That's a good point. We could just go to IRL and then just put an image up on the right side for tonight until we figure it out. You know what I mean? Just pull an image up and we'll just sit here and talk with Gotthini. But Twitch messed that up for you? Got a question? Dadwana? All right, we're going to go to IRL. We're going to move to IRL so there's no gameplay, and then we're going to put up an image up on the right-hand side, and we're starting off Gotthini. So, I'm going to start this thing right now. Here we go. All right. This is called Improvisations.
Oh, what?
I meant to say improvising, and I meant to say...
Improvisation.
I meant to say improvising and ramification, which didn't work. So, yeah, we might have to take Skype off, guys. Take the Skype off and, like, try it without it, like, and see if it works better without it. Right now, the concern I have is like, so Tuesday night, I spent a long time getting the drivers to work for these dual capture cards, and we had problems with it. And then we got the right drivers, we got it to work, and now, for whatever reason, our driver isn't being recognized by either capture card. So, we may have to actually reinstall the drivers again to the capture cards. Oh God, Gotthini's gone.
Wrong button. Wrong button. Oh, you're fine.
Okay. So we're gonna improvise tonight, guys. No gameplay. I apologize about that. We're literally just gonna go to IRL and do this and talk because Gotthini's been very gracious and literally a couple things. You know, not only not doubling on your efforts. Skype is garbage. Oh no. Okay. So I get it. Right. That doesn't help right now. Right. Like that doesn't help at the moment. Skype is working. Gameplay's
Finally.
on. So it doesn't help. Like even if we went to Discord right now, drivers for our HD60 Pros are not showing up on the computer. That doesn't help. We have to reinstall, probably restart the computer again, and we're not going to do that. So, so we're going to try just do a regular thing here. Dang third PC. Well, the third PC we had dialed in. Now it's just not. Now it's the stupid Skype. Now it's the stupid Skype. So, all right, guys, here we go. So let's talk to Gotthini a little bit. Gotthini's known us for a year and 3 months. So what game did you meet us in?
I started watching you with 7 Days to Die, actually, when you were doing that just like 1 day a week and then you did Minecraft for the rest of the time.
Now, were you watching our Minecraft or?
Yeah, I had it going while I was doing other stuff typically.
Do you like Minecraft?
I do, but I tend to get a really bad headache playing it usually, so I don't play it very much anymore.
Now, you get a headache when you play 7 Days, though, no?
Depends on what I'm doing. I have to be, like, if I'm watching someone play a game that's in first person, I tend to have issues with it, but if I'm controlling the camera, I'm okay. But with 7 Days, it doesn't affect me as much for some reason. I don't know if it's the muted colors or what.
Well, that is a good point, because Minecraft has like very like sometimes a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has like too much stuff sometimes, can be a little over the top with like the looks and the colors and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Minecraft. The problem I had with Minecraft really was the community, streaming wise. Like, I had a problem with the community because the community is like, you know, it's not always a younger crowd. There's an older crowd out there too, but like there's tends to be a younger crowd more so, and so you're bombarded with that like nonstop, and like that gets to be a little like that gets to be taxing after a while. Like, and honestly, we didn't have like the mods like we do now. So you go back then, you guys would be freaking busy as hell.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. There'd be a lot. If you go through our band list, okay, and you go through our band list, I would almost say that a majority of our bands are back from Minecraft era. Kid you not.
Oh yeah.
Would not doubt that.
If I watch someone play 7 days that I have to live stream, I'll be live. Oh, if you want to watch someone play 7 days that I have to live stream, I'll be live. So all right, so let's talk about okay, everybody's curious, man. Everybody wants to know about Gothtini, so let's start with this. Where did Gothtini come from, like the name?
It actually came from this martini glass right here.
Oh, nice.
When I was in high school, my senior year, I had 2 different friends that I hung out with. I gave them rides and all that kind of stuff to the Votech, and they were gothic and emo, and I was just gothic, and we were like, we should have a name for ourselves, and they came up with Gomo, which we used for a few things, for like goth emo.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Gomo.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd name. But then I went to a Walgreens, and it was Halloween time.
Yeah.
So they had those martini glasses out, and I bought us each one, and we started using Gothtini. And then shortly after that, I broke up with my boyfriend, and he hacked all my accounts. And so I had to start anew, and I used Gothtini and just kind of stuck with it since then.
Ponfar, thank you very much for that gifting, Rob. Rob's been around a long time, and we appreciate you doing that. It means a tremendous amount. So okay, hold on a second. So you and your friends kind of like wanted to have like this like these names or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
like,
I have a question.
Club name. Yeah.
That's not the first time I ever heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
Did we ever have club names?
It's the first time I heard of it with them.
Did we have club
They were
names?
just like, we should do it.
Yeah, but like Gotthini, you know what's funny about that? You're not the first person I've heard of that. So like, did we have like when we were growing up, did we ever have like pet names for each other? Well, that sounded weird. Not pet names, but like, do we ever want to be something? Like, you used to go by Biggin, but I never called you Biggin ever. That was from like football and all that era. So like,
I mean, like that was like my high school name was like Biggin, like. And that's like what everybody called me like in high school.
I've heard of it. I've heard where people kind of have like, you know, like they come up like group names or whatever. Like, I'm trying to think, somebody else had said it and I was like,
I mean,
joke
because
enough.
I think like like Brady, like he was like Brady's or whatever.
I chose wisely to avoid that story. Did I not ask you where your name came from, CB?
Pudding and Jelly Roll.
Matt's a fan of pet name. He kept calling me Princess. All right, so you've had Gotthini and it's stuck ever since, right?
Yep.
Malgus.
All right, let me ask you this.
It's going on 10 years.
Okay, why purple? What's the deal with purple?
Ever since I was little, like when I was about 3 or so, when you could start like telling your favorite colors, I liked pink, purple, and teal. And purple's pretty much the one that stuck all the way. I'm not really a fan of pink anymore. Teal's okay, but purple's been my favorite for a really long time.
Okay, that's cool. So whenever I think of purple, like I think of Gotthini. And the funny thing is, like, I've gotten to where I really like purple a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of me associates it with like Twitch.
Yep.
You know, I've gotten so used to Twitch and like it's so much of our life, and there's so much of that purple. And purple's like different, right? Whenever we were in 6th grade, when Matt and I met, we were part of Purple Pride.
Yep.
We belonged to the purple pod. So every pod, which just, I hated they called it pod, but like every like cluster of classrooms, like there were groups and they had colors, and we were purple, and I hated it because I was like, man, I don't want to be purple, you know. And then it was like Purple Pride and all this, and it was so, God, that sounds really bad though. Not saying it now, Purple Pride. It's like some kind of weird like color like primary color racist person, you know, like down with red and yellow, purple
Here
pride.
it was black and gold pride.
But we had purple, and I've gotten to where, like, as I've gotten older, I actually like purple a lot. Like, I think purple's a pretty cool color. It looks good. It's like a deep color sometimes. It looks good on black. I really, like it like this and all that. It's pretty cool. So, but anyway, so I always, and now I can't help but think of like the fact that, every time I think of purple, I think of Gothtini, which is also kind of weird now, because like now every time I think of purple, I automatically think of Gothtini, or my child saying purple, purple, purple.
Yes.
So let's ask
my
this.
legendary beard sound doesn't help with that.
No, it does not help with that. Thank you, by the way. So let's get this out, okay? Because I talked to Gothtini a little bit before. Guys, I will be perfectly frank with you. I love Gothtini. Right? She's been around a long time. And I think that, I think that if anything, there have been times that we probably really pissed Gothtini off or frustrated her. But at the same time, I think that's like, what happens when you're around someone for a year and 3 months. And also when the relationship is a lot of times on one side where I'm totally most of the talking and there's not much she says back, And, but I got to know her a really long time. And one of the things that is really special about Gothtini that, and it's actually something I like, which is, again, this is maybe the part where I sometimes maybe talk about things I'm insensitive or don't realize that I'm saying something I shouldn't say.
What's up, Sam?
Gothtini's in a wheelchair, and I love that uniqueness about Gothtini. Now, Gothtini may go, Joe, you're an idiot. You don't love that. You're not supposed to love that I'm in a wheelchair, but I do. I love that about Gothtini. Gothtini to me has, as I have children, and my kids see like soldiers and people that come back that have like amputated legs or missing limbs and stuff like that. It's always interesting to see their reaction to things because they're curious and they don't know. And I also think there's a naivety to adults too, that sometimes we unknowingly we see people with disabilities and stuff like that, and we automatically like are curious or want to know, but like I don't know what it is to ask or say or whatever, because we're intrigued and interested to see. I've known Gothtini for a year and 3 months, right? I think she's a spectacular, awesome person, but she has to live some parts of her life different than we do. And that being said, sometimes like I forget about that. And I am curious about that. Like if Matt, Matt and I have been friends for 25 years. There's a lot of stuff that I know about Matt personally, and it's just natural. So like as Gothtini is a friend of ours, there are things I'm curious about. And I told her before tonight, I said, hey, listen, one of the things I really like to talk about is that, you're a big part of our community and you're part of our team and you're also in a wheelchair, right? And I picked up from like Josie, I saw this earlier today, the story. Josie, who's one of the mods for Kismet, has fibromyalgia. And she was really excited because TwitchCon was doing a panel for people that suffer from like disabilities, stuff like that. And she went and she was really excited because she came back and she was like, I'm really excited because this person had fibromyalgia and I can relate to it and I can understand it. And so honestly, I hope that everything I say is none of it's like offensive or none of it's like out of place, and Gothtini will be sure to kind of make sure that she keeps me straight and narrow. But at the same time, like I think that it's also cool for us to, there might be people that are out there that watch that we don't know that could have something similar or deal with something like that. And Gothtini is someone that streams, that's big in the community, that people know who she is. And it's like, okay, maybe I can relate to it a little bit more. So that's kind of what I hope to get out of that side of the interview. And Gothtini, I appreciate you being pretty cool about it. So,
No problem.
So that being said, let's talk about it. You're in a wheelchair, right?
Yes. I have been for 17 years.
So you've been in a wheelchair for 17 years. How what kind of grade were you in about? You don't have to do
I hit 5th grade.
5th grade.
I had the hip surgery the summer before 5th grade, and that's when it happens, basically.
Now, the surgery, like now when you say the surgery on your hip, like there was something wrong with your hip that they were fixing and then it caused issues? I had
dislocated hips. I dislocated my right hip in 3rd grade, and sometime between 3rd grade and 5th grade, I dislocated my left hip. Not sure when. God. I dislocated it by walking.
Now, okay, but let me ask you this. Was there something like genetic wise that caused that to happen, you think, easier? Or was it like literally that was an accident that just happened and then complications arose?
It has to do with the spina bifida I have. A lot, like the reason it was my right hip that dislocated first is I have a lot of damage on the left side of my spine,
Yeah.
which affects the development of the right side
Okay.
of the body. And so like a lot of things go wrong with the right side first, and then the left side just kind of follows along slowly. And I basically have no hip socket. I can actually share a picture in the Twitch real quick. That
Ooh.
is a recent x-ray of my hips.
We would show you guys, but we don't have video. What's that big hole? That your...
That's my bladder and stuff.
That's what I thought it was. Sorry.
But yeah, you can tell that like my hips, because that was like me laying down straight.
Okay.
My hips are not level with each other, and the one on the left is actually the right one, and you can see that there is no socket holding it in place. It just has the pin holding it there. And so
Actually.
basically I'm constantly having a dislocated hip on the right side, except when I'm standing it goes back into place, but if I'm sitting or laying down it's dislocated.
So the question is this:
Oh no, we can't.
Are you able? You're able to stand with like assistance?
Yeah, I actually used to drive a regular car. I have a little Ford Taurus that I adore. It has no hand controls or anything like that. I actually do have to invest in that sometime soon, but I don't want to go to driver school again and learn how to use them.
Yeah.
But
You have to like. You have to learn how to drive your hand with your hands.
Retraining. Yeah,
because
I don't
You see me do
trust my
tires.
hips anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I used to. I would get out of the car and then I would use a walker to go around to the back and get my wheelchair out. And I could do all that stuff by myself. And nowadays I could probably still walk with a walker and stuff, but I have a lot of arthritis issues and I just kind of, truth be told, gave up on the idea of walking again.
Yeah.
So I'm just like trying to focus on other things and be happy with that instead of depressing myself with the walking issue.
Understandable. Okay, so it's funny you said that. So my mom had her leg amputated from diabetes because she had some issues, had her leg amputated. So she's a teacher of 35 years, right? And then she gets put in this rehab center and has to learn how to re-walk. And honestly, she had like a very, very tough time having to relearn and do all that stuff. And she had to do that. She had to kind of like, focus on something else positive because like you said, where she was at and what age and the state and like her health, it was just so hard to do it, to like relearn it and stuff like that. And I think it's for us, it's easy, like, well, Gothtini, just try to, just try, but I think that the way you're looking at it is actually a pretty good way to look at it, right? Trying to focus on other parts to excel and hit on the parts you can find strengths in.
Yeah, I actually, I hit my goal, which was when I first got on the wheelchair, my goal was for when I graduate to walk across to get my diploma.
Okay.
And it was a pain in the ass to do it, truth be told.
Yeah.
Sorry for the language. But, and I will warn you that will slip out every once in a while because I don't filter myself well.
Oh, God. Beep.
But, because the diploma was on the actual football field. And they don't have AstroTurf, and they had rain the day before. And so I had to walk across with the walker through grass. But I was able to do it, and that was like my main goal the whole time. So I hit that, and like I still did walking for quite a few years afterwards. But I think I was 20 when I stopped driving. I ended up getting overheated really bad one day, and then my hips started hurting really bad, and turns out I actually developed what's called bursitis in my hips.
Yep.
And so every once in a while that still flares up. I had to go to therapy for that for almost a year. So I have bursitis in my hips and arthritis in my knees. So walking is just like, yeah, no, let's not do that.
So you have the complications of, like you said, like spina bifida, and then which led to like dislocated hips, which has led to really all this other kind of problems on the road, right? And now you got bursitis and stuff like that. So it kind of like snowballs. It seems like just more and more and more and more things. It's just kind of got to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it really does snowball.
Challenging to deal with. Like, so what's your next? what's your next like things that like you guys are focusing on for you, like in the sense of like you said, you're not really focusing too much on like walking again. You're really like kind of past that. You're just trying to find another thing to do, right? But like the driving, you like, you know, you have other controls you can do. Is it something you want to do? Is it something you're looking towards? Like what's Gothtini got in store that way?
I personally never want to drive with hand controls. I don't want, because like I was raised to be extremely independent, and that's pushing it a bit for me as far as the hand controls. I can accept the other stuff, but the hand controls kind of bug me. But
Yep,
the thing
but
is,
you've healed me in Overwatch. I mean, you got this hand control thing. You know what I mean? Like you got this.
the main thing is the reason I don't trust my hips is something is going on with my right hip, which is actually why that X-ray was taken. They said I could have a shot in my hip joint, and it would be done like under some kind of ultrasound thing, so they hit the right spot or whatever. But I'm not a fan of ginormous needles being shoved into my hip, so I'm kind of avoiding that. And the thing is, they don't even know if it'll actually work. And personally, I actually just want a full hip replacement done. But because of my age, they're like, we don't know. But at the same time, it's like, I'm in a wheelchair. It's not like I'm going to wear it out very easily.
Well, I mean, wait, so what? They want you to be old as hell? Like, oh, Lutar. Hold on a second.
Thank you for the raid and the host, buddy.
Lutar. I love how Lutar has got done streaming, has like a 123-man host, and it's a raiding party of 11. Twitch needs to fix the way raids work, guys. I'm not a fan of the raids work. Guys, thank you very much to Lutar for the major host. Much appreciate it, guys. We're doing a Beer Brigade spotlight. We don't have any game views, so we are in the IRL channel doing the spotlight, guys. So thank you very much, Lutar and CB and Funk. Appreciate that, guys. Much love for that. We're actually talking with Gothtini tonight. We were supposed to have Tex Cup. Gothtini filled in for us. Okay, let's not gloss over that. Gothtini, as usual,
Robotsky, thank you for the host, buddy.
Comes to the rescue, right? Like, as usual, Gothtini comes to the rescue. Like, no kidding. Like, so here's the thing, Gothtini. Like, okay, you talk about like independence and all that kind of stuff. You do realize that you are a joy to a lot of people, right?
I guess.
You really are. Like
I notice like kind of fan clubs form every once in a while.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure you got more fans in the channel of you than you do of me. So just saying, that's a thing.
I mean, that's pretty easy though.
Yeah. Wait, what's that supposed to mean? What is it pretty easy? And I'm not gonna kid you. I'm gonna try driving hand controls on a car now a little bit. I can't get that out of my head.
They are really weird. The ones that, because when I first started talking about driving, they actually brought over a set for me to try. And what it is there is like a handle, like a joystick kind of handle that you hold on the wheel, so you turn with just one hand, and then everything else you do with your other hand is like little levers that you use. And that just seems really weird to me. It was uncomfortable when I tried it, but
you're a gamer. It's Gamer Gothtini.
Come on,
that just seems like something you want to do.
I don't drive.
But Gothtini, we got to get you some spin tires.
Think about how much of a master.
I would crash more than you guys in spin tires.
Think about how much of a master you would be at Euro Truck Simulator.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, all right. New agenda on the channel. What we do is
we can make you a master of this game.
We do Euro Truck Simulator, we do some spin tires, we do some American Truck Simulators, and then we get Gothtini in it. What we do is we tell her we need her for resources, okay? And we put her in the back.
Resources and spin tires.
Yeah, we eastbound and down her. We're like, come on, girl, load them up and trucking. We give her a name. We can give her a name like Gomo, you know? Come on, this is Jelly Roll. We looking for Gomo. You see Gomo in the woods? I see Gomo. We get her comfortable with it, and then bam, driving controls. You got this, Gothtini. I'm telling you. I mean, I think as a gamer, like, no kidding, I would almost want to just do it just to be like, how cool is this? And then I crash car, and then I'm like, okay, well, that's a bad idea. Do you feel it's harder because you learned in a regular car? Yeah, like EMAP said. Yeah. So you feel like that's what's hard?
It might be, because, like, I'm not one that drives with one hand on the wheel. I keep them both on the wheel. And so that might be part of it. And just the whole, because like it's like a joystick, but you have to turn the whole wheel with it, so it's kind of like a crank.
Oh, I got a
And-
crank.
I don't. I'm not equipped with one of those. And
God, just felt like it fit to say it. I never get to call it a crank.
So it's kind of like the like on a tractor.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
thing. You're like,
kind of.
Yeah.
man, Gotthini, listen, I'm gonna talk to your mom. We're gonna fly out to Oklahoma and we're gonna go test drive some hand cranks with you. Oh, that sounded terrible too. Jesus, that sounded horrible.
I mean, if you come out to Oklahoma, I'll travel to meet you, even though it's hard for me to travel.
Oh, well, I would
So,
feel
yeah.
really like a jerk if I was like, all right, Gotthini, you come to us now. So, but at the time, yeah, I'm sorry.
Tulsa and stuff is a lot better than my town. My town is super boring.
How far are you from Broken Arrow?
About 2 hours, I believe.
Okay, I'm just the reason why I say that is quite a bit of people live in Broken Arrow apparently. So, so anyways, anytime I can. I'll leave Gotthini.
Cryo knows me. I will turn it into RH stream if I'm
Yeah,
not careful.
Cryo. She sent us a clip one day and we played it on the stream and
I
she's
was
like,
playing with him.
blah blah
He's
blah.
the one that did the move.
Effer. I was like, oh my god. I was like, you didn't warn like that it was the F word.
I told you I was cursed.
So, all right. So, with that being said, okay,
Yeah, Cryo's the one I was playing Tekken with.
was that who you were playing with whenever she said the F word? God, bless America. All right, let's go something. Let's go back here then real quick, okay?
Okay.
So, what got you into streaming, and when did you start streaming?
I'm thinking it was fall of 2013 was when I first started streaming.
Well, that's a long time ago, huh?
Yeah, I haven't really done it constantly ever. At the time I was modding for a gaming forum, and the owner started streaming. He started playing League of Legends, which he was just slowly bringing me into. And so I watched his stream and I would mod for it, and as usual, I got a lot of fans in there, and they were like, "We want to see your stream." It's so I started trying doing it on my little laptop, and I was able to do it. I wasn't able to stream like League of Legends very well. It would drop my frames really hardcore, but I played games like Terraria and sometimes Minecraft and stuff like that, like games that aren't as intensive.
Yeah.
I was able to stream until I burned out my graphics card because of streaming too much.
Wow. So you said like you didn't do it all the time. Now, I already know this answer, but you started streaming just for fun or just hobby? Was it to meet people? What?
To begin with, it was hobby, and then I don't know if you know of Markiplier.
I actually do. He's a YouTuber, right?
Yeah, he's a YouTuber who does charity streams every month. And
Yeah, actually, I heard of his name. That's weird.
it like really inspired me. I wanted to start raising money for hospitals and stuff like that. And at the time, I thought you could only do it if you had subscribers and stuff. And then I went to my first PAX South, which was 3 years ago. And I actually met Markiplier there, and I told him what I wanted to do, and he wished me luck and all that kind of stuff. He was a super sweet guy. And then I ended up meeting with some Extra Life people and learned that you can do it all year long because, like a lot of people, I thought it was just a one day, and I almost always have craft shows around that time of year. And so I never really have time to do it on that one day. But I started raising money for the hospital I spent a lot of time in Illinois, which is kind of what I've always wanted to do. It's not exactly what I wanted to do, but I still treat it as a hobby, but I raise money every once in a while, so it works for me for now, at least.
So would you say that like you would love to see your stream go more of like a charity type stream thing, like where you're like doing like, let's say, different streams for events for charities, or I mean, like, I don't want to put words in your mouth or make it what it is not, but
I would love to do that kind of stuff, but the only thing is I'm not good with keeping a schedule for things. I'm really not, because a lot of it has to do with different reasons. I suffer from severe chronic depression, and I actually just got stronger meds that helped me a ton, But I also deal with that and a whole bunch of different random pains, and so it makes me not want to stream sometimes because
Yeah.
I just can't deal with it, and I
Yeah.
just want to veg. And so like I feel if I did like stuff with events and stuff, I would probably let people down because I wouldn't be able to keep the schedule I want to keep.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, I'll also let you know that you feeling like you put people down is really just you thinking that though too. I mean, I know that feeling. I know that I know that feeling. So I sympathize with you. I understand that. I understand that. So let me ask you this: in regards to depression and stuff like that, is you think your depression is a lot related to like, you know, the fact that you're in a wheelchair and that kind of stuff, or do you think there's other stuff too? You think it's like direct correlation to it?
Well, there's a couple things. For one thing, if depression is genetic, I don't know if it is, but
Listen,
everyone
I
in
had
my
some
family
batshit
is
crazy
on depression
people.
meds. So
Yeah, I have batshit crazy people in my family, and I take after them.
Yeah.
Like legit, like it makes sense now because like they weren't on medicine stuff, and like after I go to psychiatrist talk to them, I'm like, oh my god, my aunt and this person, like they're legit, like that's the problem. They were just never diagnosed, you know. Some weren't,
yeah,
but
like a lot of my mom's family has bipolar issues and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So that's always something to look forward to. But basically, what has been described to me is I have a form of PTSD from getting into the wheelchair. I was
can imagine
told
that.
that I would be up and walking the next day. I woke up after surgery and I was in a cast that was from just under my chest, like just under, like at the start of my ribs, all the way down.
Yeah, I think
And-
I've seen them before. Like it comes like up. It's like almost like a turtle
It's like-
shell.
Yeah, it's kind of like a body cast, but not. It just doesn't have like the upper half on it.
Okay. Okay. So with that though, with the depression, do you find that, for example, when you stream or these are two questions. When you stream, do you feel better sometimes? Or in a community like this, when you're in it and stuff like that, does that tend to help you at times? Or do you find that it makes it harder sometimes? Like what is like, how does that affect, you think?
It really depends on what's going on.
Stop coughing, I can't hear her.
There are times where streaming actually makes it a lot worse. And I hate to say it, but it's because of who I'm streaming with. It's not only like every once in a while I'll get in fights or whatever with my friends now, and that'll just send my depression into a crazy way. But
Yeah.
streaming with other people I used to stream with, that I no longer stream with, to kind of explain this, when you live in the South, especially in Oklahoma, I know this is true, and you're a woman, men do not listen to you most of the time. They do not respect you, nothing. You're trash. And so I get very defensive about stuff like that. And when I'm constantly saying something vocally in a voice chat, and someone still says, "Oh, you didn't tell me this," it really gets me. It starts getting my depression going because of the fact that's like, are you treating me like the people do in Oklahoma? And I know that's not what they mean to do, but it does happen every once in a while. And so times like that, the streaming, there have been times that I thought I was going to quit streaming, and I had breakdowns on the stream. But there have also been times that streaming has really helped me. Like if I play a game by myself and then I have the chat come in, there have been times that it has really like cheered me up that people enjoy what I was doing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a 50-50 thing with that kind of stuff.
So I know that for a fact, so two things I got out of that. The first one is this. I know for a fact, I have literally had people whisper me that have said, oh my God, I watched Gothtini stream the other day and she is so awesome. Literally have had people said that. I probably should do a better job of letting you know when people say that. But people have literally told me that, and which I think is pretty cool. First of all, I don't know why they're telling me that, because
I know.
What the hell do I have anything to do with it? But like, I've had people tell me that, like, they watch you and they're like, oh my God, she is like super cool, or she is so sweet, or she's like a superstar. And I'm like, what in the F is she doing that makes her such a goddamn superstar? And then the second thing is, okay, so I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say something, maybe foot and mouth a little bit, but it sounds like you need some like newer friends, those friends kind of. right? Like,
Well,
no?
most of them I don't talk to anymore. And
Okay, good.
actually,
The Oklahoma
off
bastards
stream,
are
I
gone.
could tell you a little bit more about it. I'm not going to talk about on stream.
Yeah, that's cool. What?
Now,
Okay.
as far as the people I play with now,
Yeah.
it typically doesn't happen.
Well, that's good.
I've noticed that when it does happen, it's actually just more if I'm in pain that day, and so my patience with it is really short.
Yeah.
Because a few months ago, I was randomly getting a pain in my leg, in my lower leg, and I had no idea what was causing it, but it was a really harsh burning pain, and I went to the doctor about it. She was like, well, you have this problem, so we'll do the medication for that, and maybe it'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Didn't take care of it. What actually took care of it, it seemed, is being sick, because I stayed in bed, and so I had my leg propped up the whole time, and it's just like, why didn't I think of that before?
And now it's better.
Yeah, now it's pretty much better. Every once in a while it still hurts a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad. But during that time, I had a really short amount of patience, because of the fact that I was frustrated with not knowing why I was hurting,
Yeah.
and the fact I was hurting because at that time I was taking a Tylenol and an Advil a day when I first got up, and then when I went to bed, to take care of my arthritis and all that kind of stuff. And nothing was touching that pain. I have different pain creams that I can use. None of them helped. And so it was just a really frustrating thing to deal with. But I don't know.
I mean, so a little different, obviously, but like Miss B has chronic pain every day too, and so she gets to be really testy sometimes and real irritable with me. I mean, it's with me. Can you imagine like me getting on your nerves, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so
I can imagine.
So take chronic pain, Gothtini. I mean, you play with us, and then you have me bouncing around. You know, sometimes she kind of barks at me, and I get a little upset because it hurts my feelings, because I'm like, you know, it's frustrating because you don't want to see her upset and hurting. At the same time, you're like, okay, well, they're upset also because they're in pain, and it's hard because we're not in that chronic pain, so it's easy for us to not, you know, to think about it sometimes. And at the same time, it's hard to, like, you know, kind of, you know, relate to it and remember it sometimes. You know, we're guilty of doing that. And then I know that, you know, the fuses are short at times, so it's not an easy. I don't think there's like really an easy answer to it, or what to do about it.
No, there really isn't.
So let me ask you this. So the second question was, you know, in regards to the community. So, you know, you're very active on Twitch and stuff like that, right? And some different.
Well, with you guys.
Yeah, with us, you are. Is it mainly just us that you're like that?
Yeah, I prefer YouTube. I love talking in the chats and stuff like
Man, I
that.
thought you said you too. I was like, oh, and then she said YouTube.
No, YouTube. But
no,
when
I'm
I'm
not
not
Markiplier.
doing something, I just watch stuff on YouTube all day.
Yeah.
And do stuff like I have it on my second monitor, and then I do other stuff like designing stuff and all that kind of fun junk.
So, but okay, so with the interaction with us and like on the communities on Twitch, you know, does that help sometimes with like depression and stuff like that, or?
Sometimes, like, I remember after one of my really big breakdowns, I wasn't a mod here yet or anything like that. I was just coming in at, like, every once in a while. And I mentioned that I think I was done streaming, and you talked to me a bit about it during the stream, that if it was depressing me, I shouldn't do it and stuff like that.
Oh God, she made me feel bad. All right, go, keep going.
No, this is good.
Oh.
And like that day you guys were streaming 7 Days to Die, and the thing is the game I had to break down in was actually 7 Days to Die. It was during the alpha of 15, so that was a long time ago, it feels like. But basically the whole community on here with the 7 Days to Die thing, everyone was so nice about it and so supportive that it made me want to continue streaming every once in a while. And at that time I actually continued streaming just 7 Days to Die because it was a nicer community to deal with, and they're all supportive. Whereas I like streaming League of Legends and all that kind of stuff, but it's no way to grow, and it's a very toxic community.
Yeah. I think we get spoiled as streamers in 7 days because like you'll play other games and then you're like, ugh. Like Minecraft. Like someone mentioned Minecraft earlier today, and I was like, that's why. And it's funny you brought it up tonight, or we were talking about tonight when you first saw us. And like Minecraft's not a bad game. Like I like Minecraft, and I've been away from it far enough that like long enough that I could go back and play it for a little bit. But it's just like every time I think of that, I get like PTSD from like the community. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't think I can handle a lot of children right now.
I remember watching those streams, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, these poor people."
Well, I feel like I have brought more grief to Gothtini than good, but hopefully there's some good in there. But you know, like I said,
There's lots of good. You drive me nuts, but I love you.
I care a lot about Gothtini, right? And she's helped us out a tremendous amount. She really has. You know, she's been very supportive of us, and encouraging. You know, like really encouraging to our streams and seeing it and stuff like that. You know, this is gonna sound weird, but like I feel like we have a Gothtini in our pocket, right? So here we are, like, you know, we talked to somebody about the Beer Brigade Spotlight this Friday, had nobody. We had a couple people that did step up afterwards, but like Gothtini was like, hey, you know, and I was like, God, I don't even have Gothtini scheduled. I'm like dying to talk to her about like this streaming stuff, because I know that so like there's a lot of people that we watch in our team that we watch, and I've seen a lot of people stream. Gothtini is not one of the ones that we get to watch a tremendous amount. Hell, the other day,
I tend to stream really late at night, and that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, and like the other day, I happened to be in the stream, and I saw like her thing. I told you guys this earlier. She was freaking streaming. I had no clue. I was in her channel. I had it on mute, and I was in there, and I was like doing something, and then all of a sudden I look, and the screen moved, and I go, wow, she got a moving away screen. And then I was like, oh God, Gothtini's on the screen. I go, oh, what are you playing? I go, what is this? It's like Daddy Daycare or something. And
Dating simulator.
Whatever it is. So then I ended up watching Gothtini for a while play this Daddy Daycare thing, and I don't think I could play it after watching it, to be honest with you. But she was reading it to me. I was like a little child lulling me to sleep while I was reading. She was reading the little things, so I realized it was like, I think a lot of daddies dating other daddies.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's
yeah, I never
that.
saw no mommies. So I was really confused at first.
There was a mom, but she's not for. Well, she hits on you, but she's not to date.
Well, maybe I like those moms that hit on me that are not to date, you know?
But it's all about dating daddies.
Yeah, but the problem I always have about the dating daddies, I'm never interested in the daddies when it comes time, you know? So
Fair enough.
But yes. So okay, we'll get to that. So but I never really get to see a lot of Gothtini streaming, you know? So again, real quick, guys, if you're in the channel, guys, hit the follow button for Gothtini. A lot of you know who she is already. A lot of you are familiar. A lot of you know that she does all the grunt work when it seems like to our streams a lot of times. But let's talk about that. Everybody's kind of mentioned it now, the craft side. So when we first met you, I remember you like showing us like a 3D printer picture of something you were making. It was like this, a building or something, and it had like, I don't know what it was. You had linked this thing, and
I don't remember.
It was like this thing that you could make, because I didn't know much about 3D printing, and you were like, yeah, I can make these things with 3D printers, and you gave me an example. It was some weird website where it had like templates or something like that.
Oh, Thingiverse, yeah.
Okay, hold on. First off, can I get some brownie points for remembering Thingiverse? I mean, come on, Gothtini. I remember that distinctly. It was this weird wicker-looking monument. I still don't even know what the hell it is, like a year and 3 months later here, okay?
Yeah, that was probably just something someone else has done. It wasn't me, unless it was.
No, I'm telling you, it was you with thing. You didn't make it. You were showing me like something on this website about how to do the 3D printers, and you linked it, and I didn't know what Thingiverse still is. Like, I still don't even know what that is.
I don't know what it would have been.
But anyways, she did the 3D printing stuff, and you actually do a lot of other crafts, right?
Kind of. I do like a air freshener business.
What? That's the first time I heard about that.
I don't actually talk about it very much. I use what are basically little plastic beads that can soak up fragrance oil.
Okay.
And You can put them in like little organza bags or little tins and stuff like that, or you can put them on a cookie sheet in a cookie cutter and put it in the oven, and it makes like actual hanging ornaments that you could do in the cookie cutter shape.
It's cool.
And I really like doing those. It's actually something that's super simple to do, and they smell amazing, and they actually last quite a while for most part. There's some that just kind of die randomly, but I have some that I made 5 years ago that still smell really good.
Can you eat it? Like bite it?
No, it's toxic.
I feel like if you put it in a cookie cutter, I should be able to bite it. She made it sound so delicious. You put the beads in the cookie cutter, you put them in a fragrant smell, and you stick them in the oven.
Never send you my popcorn one because it smells like buttered popcorn and it's amazing.
Don't send it to me. Is it toxic?
Do.
No.
It's toxic.
Please do.
It's toxic?
It's toxic, and I also
do.
have a one that smells like warm Christmas cookies.
Look,
it's so good.
Legit question, guys.
No, please do. Let him eat it.
So what are the crafts?
So I can replace him.
So you do like craft shows though, like you go to like different cons, right?
I haven't actually done regular conventions. I wanted to do a convention this year, and I was like, I don't have the stuff ready. A lot of stuff's going on. I'll just do it next year because I was going to therapy at that time. And now the convention has been canceled and will no longer go.
Maggie.
Well,
So
that
I'm
sucks.
like, I would like to do conventions, but there's not many in Oklahoma that are interesting enough to do.
Man, there's got to be like Oklahoma Con or something. Oklahoma.
Well,
it's like, don't you got like a Twister convention?
Almost all the really good ones are actually down like way south in Texas. Like PAX South is in San Antonio, and that is a 9-hour drive, and none of us can really handle it anymore, so I won't be going to it anymore.
Think of all that practice you can get with your steering wheel.
Yeah.
Joystick.
I do not want to drive in Texas. It's scary.
what if we did this? What if Matt and I next year flew into Oklahoma and you drove us? Or we could take turns and I drove part of that little steering wheel thing. I could practice. And then we could take all three of us and make like the road trip from Oklahoma to PAX South.
You saw his spin tires.
Wait, and just hear me out. And I get an opportunity to drive that thing too. That would be fun, huh?
It'd be dangerous, but it might be fun. Have you ever driven through Dallas? Let me ask you that.
No, and I've never driven with the little steering wheel thing, but there's always a first for everything.
Don't want to drive through Dallas. The GPS gets confused every single time because there's constant construction.
Well, I think that we should really
It
think
likes
this
to
out.
tell us to take a left,
it can't be that bad.
It's off the bridge. There's no ramp there anymore.
I mean, it can't be that bad because our local interstate was just named the deadliest interstate in America.
Yeah, and apparently it's the driver's faults.
So it can't be that bad.
It's not fireworks. Hey, Aiden, that's thunder.
It's rain.
Rain, thunder. It's not the fireworks. It's a big old boom. And he said, fireworks, fireworks. Yeah. All right, well, so you used to go to PAX South. How many times have you gone to PAX South?
I went 3 years. The first year it came out, second and third. This was my last year of doing it.
Okay,
See you,
so
Bagley.
are we kind of bittersweet about it? Like, you kind of want to go or no?
Yes and no. I keep getting emails, and actually tickets went on sale on my birthday, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
It's fate, Gotthini.
Do you know when you can sell your popcorn stuff?
Can you eat it?
No.
We're still talking about the cookie thing? I thought it was like candy popcorn.
To get a booth at PAX South. I would never afford that because my stuff is cheap. I sell it for like $1.
You thought about trying to model an otter? No, that's a terrible idea. You should quit while you're ahead.
No, I need to, like, I'm teaching myself how to do 3D modeling with a 3D printer, right? And so, like, I pick projects to try to work on. Right now, I don't really have any projects I'm working on in particular because I'm getting stuff done for the craft show that I have 2 different craft shows in December. So I'm getting stuff done for that. But when I don't have a craft show coming up, I try, like, different projects. Kind of like how the guy did the wrench with 7 Days to Die.
Yeah.
I like to pick stuff from animes. Like this little thing right here is actually from Sailor Moon. It's not printed the best, but
oh, looks good. Like, you paint it too?
Yep.
Nice.
It's one of the things that I like to do. It's just like different models from different things. And actually all of my emotes and my actual logo, which is the martini glass with the little cat in it with the cat little witch hat.
Yeah,
All that stuff is actually done in my 3D modeling program.
that's cool.
And I just take screenshots and I put like a green screen background in the 3D model so I can do a transparent image.
Hey, so someone asked a question about airplanes, and then someone else posted something. Oh, god dang it, Nismo! I clicked on that. Damn it, Nismo! God, I thought it was something else, and it's a stupid otter.
Oh, he's so cute.
No, don't look at that. So,
So I love otters so much.
So that's true that airplanes don't accommodate wheelchairs? I don't know anything about that.
I know with Tyler,
Yeah.
they had to take because he's in a motorized wheelchair. They had to put him because they flew to Alaska.
Oh, dude, I thought you were about to say luggage.
No.
Yeah, I swear to God, it looked like he was about to say with the luggage.
My cousin is in a motorized wheelchair because muscular dystrophy. So they had to leave his motorized wheelchair here and put him in a regular wheelchair for his flights to Alaska. So for airplanes and stuff, they had to push him on the airplane, lift him out of the wheelchair, put him in the seat, and then fold up the wheelchair
and put it
and
way
store.
Okay, wait. So real quick, that's kind of what I was kind of curious about.
Store the wheelchair. So
shoot,
so,
I would feel like
the
I
whole
was
time and then the whole time in Alaska, he was in a regular wheelchair instead of his motorized stuff.
So real quick, Gothtini, is my question. So mobility wise, your parents go with you down to PAC South. That's got to make it somewhat challenging too, right?
Yeah, I have to buy tickets for everyone. I pay for the tickets, they pay for the hotel and the travel and all that stuff.
I make them wait outside the con.
And my dad just likes to sit there in the convention, and it's just ugh.
Kind of like how I am when you take me to the mall to go shopping. I just want to sit there and be like,
hurry up. Okay, where are the tables this year? They're over there. Okay, we'll see you later, Dad. That's all he does, and it gets expensive. But as far as the actual traveling, I mean, it's hard now because my dad has a botched knee replacement that has actually gone up to his hip now.
Oh, Jesus, your family in hips.
Yeah, my mom has hip problems too from when she fell on a stump when she was 20-something years old.
Oh, jeez.
Hips are not good in my family.
Get you guys a box of hips for Christmas.
Those are
my aunt just broke her hip the other day.
Who
now
did?
that I think about it, my aunt. She's an aunt by marriage, but yeah, she has what is it, MS? I think.
Okay, that's what your
something like that.
That's what your cousin has, right?
He's got muscular dystrophy.
Oh, MD. I was getting confused. And all them M words.
Yeah, I think that's what she has. I'm not sure, but yeah, she fell and broke her hip, and it's just you just got over the other one being broken.
Yeah, that sucks.
Poor woman. But yeah, hips are not good in this family.
Good Oklahoma, you better come to Kansas. Who, us? Where else Kansas? Dorothy didn't even know where Kansas was.
Kansas isn't too far from me. And
Kansas not too far from you? Don't say that. People want us to go. I want to go to Kansas. What? This is There's tornadoes in Kansas, I think, only, right?
There's tornadoes in Oklahoma too. What's your point? In fact, I thought I was going to die in a tornado not too long ago. But I'm terrified of tornadoes.
You are terrified of tornadoes?
I am absolutely terrified of tornadoes.
But
I live in a town that doesn't get them, knock on wood. It's surrounded by hills, and so it can't form outside of town. The only way it can form and actually come into town is it travels along the highway. And that very rarely happens.
That's good news.
It's a good town to live in.
So
I went to Oklahoma City for a convention, and they had 80-mile-per-hour winds that were horizontal winds. It was terrifying. Because I was on the 3rd floor of a hotel.
Yikes, that's scary. So you've been in Oklahoma all your life?
We moved down here when I was 9.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
you said
originally
Illinois,
from Illinois.
Right? Illinois,
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, you said something about Illinois. I've lived in Florida 7 years and still haven't seen a water spout. I've seen a couple of water spouts.
We see them all the time.
Yeah, they get a lot of them in the bay up here.
Yeah.
But you see them and they kind of disappear. But no, water spout doesn't scare me. Full blown Helen Hunt tornadoes? No way, man. No way. I was in Fort Sill and 3 tornadoes hit the same week. Screw that nonsense. So, all right. So you don't like Oklahoma?
I hate it.
Really? In comparison to Illinois?
I would love to move back to Illinois, but I can't handle the cold and I can't handle the heat because it gets humid.
Storm chasing for the win? Screw all that. Okay, let me ask you this. If you could go anywhere, where would it be? Anywhere. Top 3 places, anywhere.
Illinois, Arizona, or Japan.
Okay, you literally named 2 places in the United States. Like, I was thinking, like, you know.
I guess the UK as well. I like British stuff, so maybe that. Plus, they have a lot of rubber ducks there. They're pretty popular.
What? Rubber ducks?
I collect rubber ducks. You didn't know that?
Oh, I did not know that.
I have a really old picture that the last time I counted was over 500 different rubber ducks. I could grab the picture if you want.
Yes, do it. Okay.
Yeah, over 5. This was years ago too. I haven't recounted, and I have no updated pictures.
While you're pulling that out, I'm gonna read this. So, why Marcella said, I have a question. Let me say first, your optimism is very contagious. Certainly a more dominant character trait of yours than your depression. Now for the question. Of course, every charity stream is important, and it seems that you've been involved with them here and over the years. Has any charity event on Twitch helped you personally in any way?
Kind of, but it wasn't exactly personally. Like I said, I support the hospital that I spent a lot of time in. I had a cousin born up in Illinois last year, I think it was, and he spent quite a bit of time in that hospital too. And so knowing that I was raising, because that was the year I raised $1,000 for that hospital.
Wow.
And so great. Knowing that I raised that money that could possibly help my cousin really helps me.
So you guys see that though? Like, so the question was, has any charity event ever like helped you, right? And Gothtini's first idea was yes, in a way, help my cousin, right? So like, kind of is a character trait of yours that I don't know if you, I mean, you may know that you're like that, but you're very thoughtful of people. It's a terrific trait. You're very thoughtful of other people a lot of times. Whereas when, oh Jesus, that's yours.
Yeah.
Now a little bit.
It's in the extra bedroom. That's actually where all my scented stuff is too. Once I get that all set up, I'm going to take another picture.
That's the stuff you can't eat, right?
Yeah, the stuff you can't eat. I don't make anything that you can eat.
Any welders in chat? Super Charizard Mother. That is random as hell. I'm dying to know why. You want to know if there's any welders in chat? Like,
I used to date a welder. Does that count?
You used to date a welder? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, that was my very first boyfriend who became a psychopath and stalked me even with his wife. So, you know.
Okay, well, that...
Yeah, he, to put it simply, when we broke up, he talked about, because we tried to be friends afterwards, and we talked about him finding this other person attractive. I was like, you should move on, all this kind of stuff. And he was like, I'm afraid I would make them into you. He ended up dating and marrying a girl in a wheelchair who they went to visit the Votech one day. And at that time, I always wore golf clothes, of course. But I also had my hair dyed a specific way. I had like the front of my hair dyed a teal color and the rest of it brown. And then the next time we saw them, it looked like she had did it the same day. He basically made her into me.
Great.
Yes. And for about a year or two after that, every once in a while they would pop up. And he was stalking me either in her car or they were doing it together. Yeah. So he's someone I like avoid at all costs.
Yeah.
We actually keep an eye on him and make sure that he's not in town because he keeps moving out of town.
So, all right. So that kind of the psycho person kind of got me distracted there. At least they had a common hobby, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
So let me ask you this with you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do? Like, is there something you aspire to do, or like that you're wanting to focus on, or Like work? Is there like work you want to do eventually? Is there something that you want to do personally? You know, I don't really know what I'm trying to ask. Like, you know, you don't work, right?
Yeah, I don't work.
Okay. Is there something you want to do? Are you interested in doing that? Is there something you're working towards, or no, or
not really per se. One thing I really wanted to do was I wanted to do photography. But in the town I live in, there are so many photographers here that's not funny. I swear there's probably 10 different photographers in a town of less than 20,000 people.
Oh.
And besides that,
can we get some hype in the channel for the $3,000 donation by Griffy Pants? Griffy Pants, thank you for your donation of $3,000. Oh, damn, he got banned out.
No.
Oh, Griffy Pants, I'm sorry, I love you. I said thank you.
Griffy Pants?
I can't read it from here. Griffy Parts? I don't know what it was. Now I've just been waiting to hammer somebody.
Gary Parf?
Oh.
The thing about, like, with the job thing is a lot of it, the wheelchair kind of stops. Most of the places people like to have pictures taken of themselves are inaccessible.
That's a really good point. And you know that?
When I was in high school, I worked for a realtor office, and I really badly wanted to be a realtor. And I realized houses aren't going to be accessible. So that idea was out the window too. When I was little, I always wanted to do like animation, like 3D animation, ever since I saw Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
And
wait, you were little 3D... when you saw Finding Nemo? I was an adult, like.
Well, it was 8th grade for me.
Okay,
so,
okay.
I mean,
God, say how old are you?
She's 28, right?
Yeah, you're not that much younger than us.
So that was almost 15 years ago.
Oh
so.
God, when you say it like that.
Yeah, it's quite a while ago. But so
I noticed
working towards a 3D modeling now, I would love to like do something animation wise. Because I actually started teaching myself how to do 3D animation when I was in Votech, and so I would love to do something like that. But I know it probably will never happen for multiple reasons. One is the fact that the actual software where you can render and all that kind of stuff costs thousands of dollars a year. I don't have that. And to do that kind of stuff, I would probably have to move. And I'm in an area that is relatively good for me. I hate it, but it doesn't typically get too cold here, and it doesn't get too hot. Because with cold, it hurts my hips really bad, and I get overheated and nothing flat, which is why I don't use a webcam half the time, because I'm in a tank top and I don't want it to be a boob show, truth be told.
I mean, wait a minute. I know how to grow a stream.
A lot of viewers, but
you just got to give me your schedule, girl. Yeah, I mean it makes sense. So I actually asked Gothtini. Gothtini's one of the ones that on our team that doesn't use webcam a lot, and you know, and I actually asked her before this interview. I said, "Hey, are you cool with the webcam or not?" And truth be told, that if she wasn't, I would have been okay with it too. Had we known we were having the issues we were having tonight, good God, I would have made her try so damn hard. But yeah, I mean, so it's understandable. Again, it's one of those things, right? So Matt and I are like, webcams, right? We like webcams. Mm-hmm. It's a great example of somebody that, oh God, geez, I'm having like I don't know what's happening over here, but I'm having like a second version of my sandwich. But you have like, you know, Gothtini, who has a reason why she particularly doesn't like webcams, and you're like, oh, you know, this is actually, that's a really good reason, or why, you know, her reasoning is like something that I've never really thought of, you know. So it's cool to hear that, and again, it opens up your eyes to, you know, hey, there's more out there than, you know, just the, oh, well, I want to see the webcam, and there's no reason to not have a webcam. Well, there's lots of good reasons why people don't use webcams as well. So, yeah, no issues. You just wanted to have more focus on Gothtini. I was hoping she was gonna wear a tank top, but
well, I mean, I do have bearded guys tank tops. I'm just wearing a Spirit Guy's shirt right now that's mostly faded.
I love it. That's the
My poor
DB8
shirt.
shirt, right? That's the DB8 shirt you have on?
Mm-hmm.
BG Joe does not want to show off the moves. Yeah, you don't want to see my moves, guys. I mean, you really don't. You guys have seen it. It's on my Twitter. My wife made it courtesy of me sliding down the pole of the
And
pool.
then I made it into the maid dress.
Yes, you did make it into the maid dress. I forgot about that. Actually, I don't know. You know what? Didn't you tell me to show that to her if she was okay with it? I actually didn't show it to her.
It was actually the Pepe Le Pew one.
Oh, that's the one I was supposed to show her. I gotta show her that one. God dang it, I forgot about that. Trust me, chat, you want to see it. You know, Mackie's got all the way down to the skivvies.
Mackie's seen the most of both of us, so
Mackie probably wonders why when we get into when we got into the hotel, pants and shirt came off every time. That is how it is in my house too. Pants and shirt. Shoot.
But I will say this: Mackie has requested to bunk at TwitchCon.
Of course, because pants and shirt came off every single time.
Mackie has already requested to bunk with us again at TwitchCon next year. So
Gothtini,
it can't be that bad.
This question here: do you mod for any other channels?
Not anymore.
Okay, but you did, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess technically, when Cryogenic, when he's streaming, I'm a mod on there. And then we have another friend, Jukebox Monty, that when he streams, I mod for him. But they have a lot of stuff going on right now, so they haven't been streaming much. So I basically just mod for you guys now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're gonna have an exclusivity clause you're gonna have to sign soon. It's part of ownership, actually. We don't know about that yet, but we're gonna send the contracts out.
All the mods are getting them.
Yeah, all the mods are getting them. It's called an exclusivity clause or something like that. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Is it exclusivity or exclusivity?
Exclusivity.
I sound fancy when I say exclusivity.
But then what about like Catnip, who mods 1 million people?
Yeah, but he doesn't mod on our channel most of the time.
He doesn't mod
so he's an exclusivity out of the channel. No, when we modded Catnip, you know, it was funny because, like, literally, when we modded Catnip, it was really because Catnip knew a lot of, like, stuff about, like, the bot and all that. Things that I think we had just started using OnkBot and all that. As we went to it.
We're going to get Jenks to quit streaming.
And Catnip literally was modding with, like, for non-immerse, other people. So when we said something about making a mod, he was like, hey, just to let you know, I was like, Matt and I are like, look, we know you mod for other people, like, primarily. We are okay with that, completely okay with that. So we get them every once in a while, you know. So it seems that over time your injury has become more serious as your mobility becomes a little more restricted. Do you find Twitch to be an important tool in terms of staying mentally active and at the same time becoming part of the Beer Brigade become somewhat therapeutic as a distraction? I don't know about that last one.
Kind of. Like I said before, I have like severe depression issues. One of mine that tends to pop up a lot is that I feel very alone. And so getting on Twitch chats and stuff, it helps me a lot. Even like when I'm fighting with my friends or whatever, I tend to stay in Discord and just keep myself muted so I don't say anything, but I don't feel alone at that time. But like with the Twitch chat itself, it really helps. And I don't know if like streaming helps in that kind of sense, but as far as like just modding the chat and stuff like that, it really helps me. And as far as being part of the Beard Brigade, it kind of is therapeutic in a way because, like I said, with me not having a schedule and like you've said before, it's kind of hard to catch me when I'm streaming and stuff. And so like I'll get these hosts out of nowhere from people on the Beer Brigade because they're ending their stream and I'm like just starting or whatever. And that actually really helps me, especially since a lot of times my chat is pretty quiet and then people come in and start talking with me. So
yeah,
it helps with that.
Like, okay, so I don't want this to sound like bad in any way, but like Gothtini, like, you know, I would almost say like, okay, and this is like maybe my perception, but like I said, I don't see a lot of your streams and stuff like that. Sometimes they're kind of surprises to me. So Gothtini doesn't really make a big deal about her streams. Like,
not anymore.
I'll look over and she's like streaming sometimes, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, she's streaming. Like, Gothtini's streaming, and it's like a big deal for me. And like Matt will be like, oh, I saw Gothtini stream, so I'm playing some League of Legends or whatever. And I was like, what? You know, it's not like she doesn't really, you know, we talk all the time about like, you know, hey, streaming this, streaming life. It's all life, you know. And then I have like Gothtini, who's like such a big part of our stream, but doesn't really like seem to kind of like have like that same thought as we do sometimes about streaming or approach it, which is sometimes refreshing to see that. And so that being said, on the Beer Brigade side of it, you know, she probably doesn't do a lot with the Beer Brigade per se, just because she's not streaming all the time, but people do have her on the auto host and stuff like that.
See you, Nismo.
And I am glad to hear that there is something and stuff like that. I mean, that's what we want, right? We want different, diverse people on the stream team. Is it because she isn't gathering mats for you? Listen, right now we are taking a severe hit to the server with no blocks being laid down. Matt's not working. Gothtini's not working. It is actually kind of freaking me out a little bit. So she does a ton for the BG family, though. She does, Eve. Like, that's what I was saying earlier. There's a lot that Gothtini does for like Matt and I.
I can log in and work.
Game wise, you know, stream wise, like just being in the community wise. Like I said, like a lot of people in the chat really are like Gothtini, and I'm like, what the hell did she do that everybody loves her? Love Joe. No, but like she is pretty awesome, you know. And I feel very blessed that we got to meet Gothtini, and that she came in our channel. I was grateful the day she did, and I'm glad she's hung out ever since. Oh my God, Cryframe, I haven't seen you forever. How are you doing? Shimmy's reaching out, inviting strangers into your house. It is. That
Especially
love
when
Joe
you have
part.
no green screen and you can see like all the figures.
You know what though? I like that, right? Because like we can't do that. You know, like
Mhm.
art. Like look at this, guys. Look at this disaster of. There's like dry cleaning back here now. I don't even know. I make room in this office, and my wife just trashes it. Like I don't understand why she does that, but we can't do that. And like some days I'm like, man, it'd be kind of nice to have it just open and not have the green screen. But you know, I do like that. I think it'd be cool to have like a thing. Like your thing is amazing. You have like all this stuff on display. It's cool as hell. Honestly, answering questions, giving advice, Gothtini is just an essential part of BDG. She is. She really is. Miss Candy, how you doing? Maybe if you stop killing her, Joe, we would like you more. Listen, I'm not.
We only killed her, or Joe's only killed her a couple times.
Okay, here we go. She's behind the scenes. Logistic person. Can you ask her to do a quick close-up of the figure shelves? I'm a collector myself. Maybe.
Possibly. Let's see if I can get this to work without like showing my whole mess of a room.
That's all right. I'll get up and do a truffle shuffle if it'll distract them.
See, there's like all these up here, and then down here we have like all kinds of stuff. And I actually have more shelves behind that, but they were blocked by the wheelchair.
So okay, so hold on. You don't. It's not like just Funko Pops, right? Like it's just all kinds of figurines.
All kinds.
All right. Now you mentioned like anime, right?
Mm-hmm.
I recently have been introduced to anime. You obviously hear me talk. You like, I mean, guys, I feel like an interview with me being involved is like the waste of time because you guys hear me talk about my life every day. But but like, what is the style of anime that you like? What do you find is anime that you tend to go towards more? Like a favorite? It's like a favorite series?
I actually tend to go more towards older animes that I watched growing up. Like I said before, I love Sailor Moon. That was my very first anime, and
no, I haven't,
like,
just Maggie.
Near and dear to my heart. But other stuff like Tenchi Muyo and Yu Yu Hakusho and
Yu Haka what?
Yu Yu Hakusho. It actually, those two I watched when I was first put into the cast that led to me being in the wheelchair. And so going back and watching those kind of is a bit therapeutic in a way because it reminds me of a time where I still had hope as far as walking.
Yeah.
So, because I'll always miss it, but
Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yu Yu Hakusho. There you go. I put it in the chat.
That was definitely way off on that, by the way. I was definitely way off on that. So do you not like, the ones that I like, you heard me say like Attack on Titan, like the Notebook, wait, not the Notebook, Death Note.
Death Note.
Like, do you not like those styles?
I have not watched Attack on Titan. I tried watching Death Note a long time ago. Did not like it. I actually want to try it again.
It's really
But
good.
the thing is I knew about the character Misa, who
Yeah.
calls herself Misa Misa,
Misa,
and
Misa.
I thought that
know.
was adorable. And when I found out about that, that was also about a month later is when I adopted my new cat, and I named her Misa.
Misa's a lunatic.
Yes, she is.
She's a
Well,
lunatic.
my Misa's a lunatic too. She thinks she's a dog.
Well, she's a cat. That makes sense.
That's me
She likes to
combing the
play
desert.
fetch.
Yeah, Matt likes the Notebook anime. Misa
But
Misa
yeah.
Jar Jar. No, not that one. Not that one. So okay,
No,
cool.
not that one. But yeah, my cat's named Misa after her, and so I want to give it another shot. I just don't have time to watch anime.
So okay, so let me ask you this: what do you do? Like, what do you do in your time? Like that you find that you like to do?
I actually tend to watch, like I said before, I tend to watch YouTube.
Mhm.
It's usually dealing with gaming. I back when I was running the gaming forum mod, the gaming forum as a mod, and then actually became the admin and owner for a while. I subscribed to like 3 or 4 different things that get gaming news. And I still keep up with that. Even though most of the games I do not care about at all, I like knowing what's going on in the gaming world. And then I also have a lot of videos I watch that are just Let's Plays. I sadly don't watch yours, but I watch those live. So
What the Let's Plays or our YouTubes?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. This live we don't do like Let's Plays. So you like Let's Plays though?
Mm-hmm.
But do you play those games or you find you just watch the YouTubes?
Depends on what the game is.
So
there's a lot of games that I like that I can't play, like say Portal. I cannot play it because it gives me a massive headache just trying to.
Yeah, me too. Trying to solve the puzzles.
But it's the camera angles from you bouncing around through the portals, and so I actually, if someone I like is playing that game, I will bring it up and then I'll have it in a separate tab where I can't see it, but I can listen to it. Because I love the storyline and I love the interaction. I just cannot watch it because it hurts my head.
See, I get headaches from Portal too, also, but it's because the puzzles are too challenging. So yeah, see, so I like Neebs gaming a lot, and I'll watch their Arc Let's Plays, and those are really funny. So, so White Marcella said, it seems like there's a lot of elements of the Bearded Guys stream that you like, and it's easy to be agreeable with things that we like. What, if anything, would be something you wish was a little different about BGG or Beer Brigade itself? All right, come on, Gotthini. What do you want different about Matt and me?
Well, one thing you've kind of started doing, actually, and I understand why you don't do it usually,
Okay.
is being in the Discord when you're playing with people at the same game.
Uh-huh.
That's the main thing that I would like to see.
Oh, you'd like to see
more
us do that more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because I know with you guys bouncing between the chats and stuff that it's hard to keep up with the in-game chat. And so when I'm trying to find out what you guys need, it gets a little frustrating at times to be like, look at the chat, look at the chat, look at the chat.
Cause I hardly ever look at chat in game, like ever.
But Matt does, so you know he saves the day most of the time.
Actually, I intentionally don't look at chat because I know Matt does. What's funny is, so it's funny you say that. So Gotthini's one of the people that we've kind of gotten a little bit easier to get used to talking on Discord with. And I agree with you. The limitation with the Discord, we talked about it, is really me. Part of the problem is I won't do push to talk with Discord. Like, no
I don't
offense.
either, but I tend to stay super quiet anyway.
You do. And I feel bad though.
Keep myself muted.
But I feel bad because I feel like you're having to like listen to me nonstop, but you're also doing that on the stream anyway, though, right? Kind of.
Yeah, I do that on stream, so I don't care.
Hang on a second. You say hi to Gotthini. Say hi, Gotthini.
Hi. Hi, sweetie.
That's she says purple, purple, purple. So
Purple.
You like that? Look at all her dolls back there. You see those?
Yeah.
They're cool, huh? Yeah, I know. She's got a lot of toys. You want to go to her house and play?
Yeah.
And never come back?
I'll take him.
I want to come back.
You do want to come back? All right, let me ask you something. So what happened now?
I want to come back.
No, what did Jagger do? Tell me what happened.
He hit me with the pillow.
How? Show me.
Throw it.
And where did he hit you at? Show me. Do it to me.
Yeah.
Why did he hit you with a pillow?
Because
But why? What'd you do? Did you throw something at him first? Well, you can't do that. Okay? Listen, you cannot throw a pillow at him, and he's not allowed to throw it back at you, okay? All right. He's like literally just staring at you, Gotthini. Why are you looking at Gotthini like that? Is it weird that she's on the screen up there? That's Gotthini. All right, you can kiss.
Love you.
I love you.
I love you.
You hear her little voice? Does she talk like you, kind of? All right. Jagger, better not catch you throwing a pillow at him. You understand me? Sorry.
It's okay.
So the problem I have is with like Discord is that honestly, I feel like Matt's got to sit here and listen to me. Like, okay, like people in the chat, I kind of feel like you guys are like, you take it upon yourself to listen to me. Whereas, like, it's your fault if you're in here and I'm talking a bunch and you're listening. But I feel like when I'm on Discord, I have an obligation to talk to people. And so when I'm talking to them and I'm not, if I'm just like doing our cast and I'm like, blah, 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 and I'm not like specifically addressing you and like talking to you back and forth in a conversation, I feel like I'm being rude. Like, me personally. So that's why I have a hard time with Discord. That's why I have a hard time with like Discord, because I feel like I'm being rude to the person that's on Discord. But
Yeah,
I guess
I fully understand it.
But okay, but I guess if I can get through my head of this, for example, okay, so we're casting, we're streaming, and we get on Discord and like you come into it and then you know that it's gonna be nonstop listening to us talk about the cast and like thanks for the sub and thanks for this, and you're in there and you're okay with that, and then I guess it's not a big deal. But in my head, as long as I know that I'm not having to like, because like right now I'm like giving you attention and it's like my full attention, it's about like, you know, you right now, and I feel like I'm being rude when I'm in Discord and I don't. So I need to remember that it's like, you know, we got a show going on technically, like our stream, and that it's okay that you know, that the people that are in the Discord to talk or interact with us, they're in there to add to the stream, but they're not, that they like, it's okay to carry on with the stream, I guess. Am I saying that right? So you really hear nothing on Discord that you wouldn't already on stream. I know, and I don't think about that, Mackie, right? I just feel like when someone gets into Discord, I feel like I don't know, it's weird. Like, and it's not because Gotthini's literally just listening to us through the stream, and when otherwise or whatever it is.
And then you'll be like, look out, Gotthini. 20 seconds later, oh, you're talking to me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying, I don't think it's weird. I think it's me that feels like it's weird, you know? Like, so if Mackie got in Discord right now, I would feel like I need to talk to Mackie and not be doing our stream. That's how I feel. And I know that's not really the way it is, that obviously Mackie knows that, hey, they're streaming, so I'm coming in to participate or interject or do little bitty things, but I'm not there to like interrupt or whatever. So it's really just me on that, but that's a cool thing. I like that idea though. Has more information about joining. I think beerguysgaming.com has more information about joining. Hey, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
They wanted to know about how to apply for the Beer Brigade.
Oh yeah.
She
already
linked,
linked it.
She linked the link.
Yep, go to beerguysgaming.com. There's a tab there. You have to think of Discord as using like a walkie-talkie. Do your thing, then address people when you need to, and go back to do your thing. But you're talking like on a push-to-talk scale, or you mean like just do our thing? I guess I need to think of Discord like this. When you guys come into our Discord, if we're in there, for example, if Gotthini's playing with us, like when we're in the streamer room, it's like being on the radio and it's live. The red light's on, it's live. And so you're coming in to that stream or that show, whatever's happening in that broadcast, and that there's going to be listening to the entire show. And then maybe there's a segment, or we're taking the moment and we're saying, hey, Gotthini, da 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 da. I just been in some streams where like multiple streamers are like trying to do it together, and
That rarely works well unless one of your streamers isn't very popular. Then you can like space it right.
Yeah. I towards the entire stream talking is on Discord, and we have a push to talk if we need to speak to him or anything like that. Yeah.
Have a good night, buddy.
All right, buddy. Be good, man.
Good night,
Enjoy the
Mackie.
movie. Enjoy the movie, buddy. So yeah, it's really just me. It's something I have to overcome. The other thing is, like I said, I don't do well sometimes talking with multiple people. I get kind of distracted and all that. We have a hard time getting on Discord during stream too. We feel like we can't concentrate fully on the stream because we have to attend to people on Discord. So we only get on Discord with games that absolutely need it, like PUBG. Also, people that have a habit of rambling too much. Yeah, Enrage. So it's funny you should say that because that's actually really true. You know, on a PUBG where like it's vital to have that, but I think there's a difference. Right? Like for example, like Gothtini's been around us so long. Like you said, you're literally quiet. Like, oh god, like see, that sounds so terrible. I feel like I'm saying like if we're streaming, you have to be quiet. I'm not saying that.
I'm just actually really quiet unless I have something to say. Some
people just don't have the manners. Does that make sense? Like some people don't know like the etiquette of how to do it. And like I've seen some streams where someone's like, I'm on the stream right now, and you're like, well, settle down, dude. I can't even hear what's happening in the stream with the guy in the background, like speaking with Swahili or something. Like I don't know what's happening back there.
And that's actually something you'll notice with my streams is I actually, because I play like League of Legends and stuff with my friends, and so I always have my friends in the Discord with me, and they're used to me saying random things because I'm talking to a chat, but a lot of times they actually interact with the chat as well if I mention something they said.
Yeah.
And I actually have like a couple of my two main mods. They tend to pick out favorites out of my friends, and if they're like not there for a while and then they come back, they freak out and they're like, oh my gosh, you're back.
Yeah.
So it's more like kind of a group streaming thing instead of just a solo stream with that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think the biggest challenge will be with us with like, you know, when we do like spotlight nights like tonight, you know, I've gotten better
Trying to show my
about
attention, Levi.
making sure that I'm paying attention to the chat, like to make sure I pull out questions. But someone said something last week, a couple weeks ago, and they afterwards they were like, I apologize, I was saying this. I was like, no, I was like, I didn't even see that. Like literally on spotlight nights, a lot of times I'm really trying to focus on like, you know, Gothtini and the questions with whoever we're interviewing, and then like I'm trying to pull questions out of chat or little comments. And I kind of honestly, guys, on like spotlight nights, I don't see a lot of the little banter sometimes. Matt sees it more, but I don't see a lot of it that we normally would see in our normal stream because I'm trying to really put the focus on like the questions or whatever we're trying to get across, that kind of stuff. It's just a different type of stream, you know. Hell, PUBG, to talk about PUBG, what Enrage said.
No, not shopping.
Same thing with what Enrage said with PUBG. PUBG is a different stream when we stream it. We have to like literally play the game and then I turn and talk to the chat because I die real quickly, so it's not that much time you guys miss, but I have to do that because that's that style of game. So now that you've become heavily involved with BGG and the Beer Brigade, and seeing as how you're personally a very helpful one, do you find yourself sometimes playing because of a routine or expectations, or are you engaged and interested every time? That's a good point. Gothtini, that is a very, very good point. Because there's a few of you guys in the channel. Malgus and Janks and Gothtini. You guys have been around. You know us. You've seen us a bunch. You know how we are. There are probably things that you pick up on us that you're like, okay, Joe, I've heard you do that 1,000 times. You gotta be tired of it, right? Like,
there are times where I have to mute the stream for a little while because things get a bit annoying, but that's just part of being friends with someone.
Yeah.
Thank you for the bits.
I mean, typically if like it wasn't on a stream, I would probably tell the person to shut up.
Yeah.
But since it's a stream, it's not my business.
Yeah.
And it's not causing any problems, so I just mute it and hang out that way for a little while. But I really enjoy being here. And like with the farming on 7 Days to Die, except for on Starvation mod, I am not a fan of that mod. It drives me insane.
But honestly, Matt and I aren't Starvation mod fans either. I mean, it's the least of the mods that we like. So we're tired of the second grade story about singing to Christmas.
It was sixth grade.
So okay, thank you, Matt. Thank you. You know what my point is? You ain't tired of sixth grade because you didn't even know what grade it was. It was sixth grade, Erican. So that tells me you haven't heard the story now. I was a Santa Claus in sixth grade. Okay, leading star of the show.
Roll of the Christmas play, blah blah.
I'm just saying.
Blah blah.
But yeah, okay. So on annoying stuff, like, is it me talking about something, or is it just the boring stuff? Like, just trying to get some insight here.
It's just viewpoints you have that I don't agree with.
Oh,
And
and
it's nothing big. It's just.
but you know
something-
what? That's natural too, right? That's what makes us so.
Definitely is.
That's what makes us so different, right? Like, and I think that like someone said like, you know, I like Gothtini's how she's like very what do you say, like open or truthful or honesty. That's important, guys. Like I'm trying to stress that about like the team and like streaming in general. Not everybody's gonna like you, and not everybody's gonna agree with 100% with what you said. So there's been a couple people on the team that we've talked to recently. Hey, Stupid Bird Gaming, how you doing? Can Gothtini see chat? Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm just not very good at paying attention to it.
Oh, thanks, Enrage, man. Appreciate
Thanks,
that, buddy.
Enrage.
I see you there, buddy. I'm gonna check you out too. So I see it. Thank you very much. So when it comes to like the you know, we've talked to a couple people recently about streaming in general, and the problem is that there's such a diverse people out there, you know. And Gothtini, who supports us a lot, there are things that she likes sometimes and things that she doesn't like. And I think like that's the thing is like you're never gonna love someone 100%. Like, well, you're gonna love that person, but like you're not gonna like doesn't mean you're gonna every viewpoint agree with it. Yes, you can't, you know. Unfortunately, and I'm thankful for someone like Gothtini who, for example, here's the problem. You guys, we're on this forum, right, where we talk, and like we're just like talking. You guys don't really get to like have much of a rebuttal or answer back. And you do, but it comes across in text. And a lot of times, text is the worst way to communicate, okay? Let me tell you about bad emails that I've sent before, or a text that was taken out of a thing. It is a terrible way to communicate. And so we have to try to like read it and be like, okay, that hurt my feelings, or what you just said offended me. And the person's like, no, that's not what I meant by that. And like we took it out of context or took it the wrong way. So it's really, really hard. And like I said, you guys hear a lot of what we say. And so you're constantly hearing what we say over and over and over. Gothtini has 1,500 hours in the channel, guys. 1,500. She's heard everything about me. Okay? That's it. It's like she know the things she probably dislikes that I say. Oh, she's probably heard them a bunch too. It is hard to get sarcasm across text. You're right. You're right. Text is the worst way to communicate. It's weird because the stream is delayed too. Yeah, that's challenging. So as a streamer, like you kind of like try to pick up on that, and you're having a conversation, and then I have to realize that conversation's happening like 15 seconds later, and I have to remember like when and sometimes with chat, this is what viewers do. You guys give really short answers a lot of times. So you'll give a short answer that we're trying to remember. Well, what was that going with? Was it going with
and I was saying a lot of times like we'll be talking about something, and the way like chat responds is like a
yeah, pump for exactly.
Like chat would be like, yes, no, well, and like we'll be like, yes, no, what? Like
yeah, like you'll say yes, that's not a good idea, and you're like, wait a minute,
yes, no, what? Like it's more like trying to figure out like what you guys are responding to. So
shut up, Eric.
You know, so it's hard for us to try to remember like what the question was. So it's
Ramble Mouth me, who will ask 3 questions in one breath, right?
Oh yeah.
And I'll be like, yeah. So do you think we should play another game? And do you guys like it when we have like a morning stream and a late night stream? You guys are like, yes and no, yes. And then I'm like, wait, yes, we should play more games, or yes, we should do night stream and day stream. So part of it's our problem of not doing it, but part of the other problem is like you guys are like, you know, yeah, and it's a short answer, and so we're trying to decipher it. So it makes it very, very challenging at times. So let me ask you this, Gothtini: most memorable moment for streaming for you?
PDX?
Most memorable moment?
That would be when one of my friends donated $50 to Extra Life. I was playing Hearthstone, and I get my Extra Life donations through my text as well, because I didn't have Streamlabs set up. And I got a text, and I looked at it, and it said $50 donation, and I was just like, what? Wait, what? And I ended up forfeiting the game of Hearthstone so I could go check it.
Yeah.
Make sure I wasn't seeing things. But I think that's probably my most memorable.
You're fine, Mom.
So that's a good memory.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, was it just because you just weren't expecting like that particular person to do it? Actually, it is combing the desert.
just to have help on helping a hospital that helped me so much is really touching. Cause to explain a bit, when I was born with the spina bifida, I had a lump on my back, and I was immediately flew out to a hospital about an hour away. And when I was 7 days old, I had my first surgery at that hospital. Until I was 9, I think I went to the hospital probably every 2 or 3 months, at least once, for
Yeah.
checkups and all that kind of stuff. And it was a all-day thing. I had, see, 1, 2, 3 surgeries there altogether, and everything went fine with those surgeries and stuff like that. And the people at that hospital, like the nurses and stuff, they actually were amazing. And I know a lot of them probably don't work there anymore because of how long it's been.
Yeah.
But just being able to help that atmosphere is really nice, because growing up with the disability, I knew another person who is actually just a month younger than me. He has almost the exact same problems. The only difference is he has a shunt and I don't. That's not the only different thing we've ever done. We liked all the same things. He's the one that actually got me into video games and all that kind of stuff. But besides that, it's, in all actuality, was really lonely. All my friends besides him were perfectly abled, and you know, kids, they tease other kids, and so I was called slowpoke and all that kind of stuff. And to have a group of doctors care about me so much, like the nurse, she'd always have Skittles to give out, like little packages of Skittles.
Love Skittles.
And
They made
I
my jaw hurt
don't-
after a while.
I don't like Skittles at all. And
What?
so she started making
Weirdo.
sure to have packages of M&Ms just for me. She would have them in her office, and then when she knew I was coming, she carried them along
Yeah.
to give me a pack of M&Ms.
That's cool.
Just because I didn't like Skittles. And so
Gothtini was
just-
hipster back then.
just that, like, feeling of that kind of special treatment
Yeah.
really stuck with me all these years. Because that started when I was like 4 or 5, and I still remember it.
So a couple things out of that. First off, like caregivers, like and things like that, and like nurses and stuff like that, and doctors and like that. You know, they have such a huge intrinsic reward. They don't realize that they're fulfilling for people sometimes.
Mhm.
So they're healing people, making people feel better. But there's an intrinsic reward. And to relate this to like with us, that's kind of something like Matt and I get out of this too. The people that reach out to us and tell us like how like we've affected them and stuff like that. I can only imagine that how a nurse who for you was bringing you M&Ms to make it make you feel special, and it has impacted you, that like here you are, you're 28 years old on a stream on the internet talking about video games, and that story comes up, and that was a lady or a guy, or that
It was a lady.
that lady has no idea, or hell, she may even be alive, who knows, but she has no
she
idea.
was pretty old.
She has no idea that was an impact that she made on you, or that like that this would be a discussion nowadays. And all it was something simple. And in her mind, maybe she was like, oh, this Gothtini girl, she didn't call you that. She called you Goma back then, but she was like, she's
Called me
awesome.
Catherine,
And
but actually, no, she called me CJ.
okay, so she
It
called you
was a long time
CJ.
ago.
Because what the hell CJ come from? Oh, your
my
name.
middle name.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Okay.
My middle name's Jillian. Well, one of my middle names.
Okay, so second question. Whatever happened to the shunt guy? Cute? What's, you guys have a lot in
became
common.
A jerk.
Okay, never mind. All right.
Yeah.
God, what?
Typical guy.
Jeez, you know what? Guys are all
Well-
jerks. That's how we operate.
The thing with him was his parents didn't force independence on him, and so he became very needy as he grew older. Whereas
Typical
that's
guy.
like the exact opposite of me. I still try to do so much stuff on my own, even though there's a lot of stuff I can't do.
Yeah.
And like when there's stuff
Typical
I
woman.
can't do, I typically end up crying because I want to be able to do it. So it's one of those things that his like personality just completely changed from what mine is, and I haven't heard from them in years.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, then forget that guy. He's a jerk. You're like,
Good night, Bubba.
stop pulling the green screen. God. I'm going to beat a 3-year-old. Last question. Sorry, so many I know. No, I like your questions, Marcel. So you did a really
I
good
like
job.
the questions.
You did good.
What'd you say?
I like the questions. It's fine.
I do too, yeah. So Matt and Joe, no question, Gotthini is very likable in the community, and I would consider her a big personality in the Beer Brigade. Do you sometimes wish she was more active with her streaming, or are you equally satisfied and present in the Beer Brigade as we are? See, I did that pro level. No, I could care less about Gotthini streaming, honestly.
Aw.
As long as Gotthini is who she is in our community and stays true to who she is, that's all I care about. In all reality, I think Gotthini fits in her perfect way.
Yep.
Right? Like, and you know, there are people out there that want to join the Beer Brigade and that are interested in being part of it and going to it. And I want people to know that, like, I want people to want to be there. And like, someone might say, well, I stream a lot more than Gotthini, I should be on the Beer Brigade. The thing is, guys, is that people on the Beer Brigade are people that impact us some way. We enjoy their streams. We, for whatever reasons. And I think Gotthini is a really good fit for our team. And I think it's important. And she is a very important part of our stream here. And she always will be. And so we are happy with that. And so I think, if anything, it should show people that, you know, there isn't per se a exact model for the Beer Brigade. The Beer Brigade is made up of a very diverse group of people. We have a set of standards that we like, but that there are exceptions to those standards. And while that can be frustrating for people that are trying to reach towards a goal, like someone that wants to go to partnership, right? And you're like, well, that's not fair because I want to have XYZ things there. I get that. And I think those XYZ things are important. And I think it's important for things to kind of go that way. But I also think it's very important that certain exceptions exist. And I think at the end of the day that if anybody were to think that she didn't have a place in our community, and that because who she is, that we would second guess having her on a team, then you're not a part of, you don't understand how this community operates. So nobody ever said that, but let's get back to the worst 7 days night horde night ever. Listen, I shot her one time. She's killed me before too, guys.
But mine was actually a good shot across the way. You shot my foot.
Well, you know,
My feet already don't work well. You shot it.
I didn't think you'd notice.
Fair point, but I do have some feeling in my feet.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know there was feeling in the feet. I don't know all these math questions. You shot her plenty of times. Especially go back to lurking or something. Like also the rocket. Listen, I feel like you guys are really ganging up on me at this moment.
Yeah, I don't trust your rocket launchers.
I should have seen there's more about the people and family as opposed to the numbers. Yeah, okay, so, well, Jake, that's kind of like what we want to really kind of get across.
Sunday.
But, and Jake, it can be frustrating when you see, like, I want to join the Beer Brigade, what are the things? And we give you, like, this list of things that we say, here's how you can get on the Beer Brigade. I'm going to tell you, it's not like, it's not guaranteed. There's a limited amount. And it takes the extra... It takes that being unique to get on there, as well as really trying to be along those kind of guidelines. It's a criteria. You know, so it just call when you discuss inclusion training. All right, so hold on. I had a couple questions I want to ask you. Oh God, but why Marcel's question got me off track, and I was trying to think what
what's
they
up,
were.
Packer?
There are a couple questions I had. Let's see here. So, what kind of games, this is what I was going to ask, what kind of games do you find yourself gravitating towards more? You say that you like to watch certain games, but is there certain games you enjoy, you know, watching more than others? What is that, dude?
What is what?
Hold on.
Oh, a clip.
Can I get some hype in the channel for those really good shots? You see my face?
Oh my God, I know what this one is.
I couldn't even believe I shot you, Gotthini. That was impressive. I felt like I should have logged on to PUBG. You know what I mean?
I was actually looking for your backpack too.
Oh my God.
I didn't know where your backpack was, so I was looking for it.
Thanks, White Marcella, man. Thank you, buddy.
The bicycle wasn't in the game yet.
God, man. The thing is, it was such a good shot. I like how
it was a
Malgus
good
gives
shot.
inches to
I'll admit
White
that.
Suspector. Oh, it was such a good shot.
Okay,
Oh, God.
back to the question though.
Yeah. So
far
what
as
games? Yeah, what games do you find you like most?
It really depends on if I'm playing them or if I'm watching them.
Okay, so let's start with playing first.
For the most part, I really like playing games where I can build.
Okay.
Building and scavenging is like my two favorite things to do. But I also like games that are just kind of like a grind. Like WoW, I still have a thing to boost a character to level 100, but I did it normally.
Yeah.
When we did the guild, and so I like that because it's kind of relaxing to me, and that's also why I like farming for you guys, because I'll just have YouTube up on the side and just mine away. But far as watching, I actually tend to go towards older games or indie games that have come out recently, or Nintendo. I love watching Nintendo games because I grew up on Nintendo, and I'm not going to get a Switch anytime soon, so watching like the Mario Odyssey game, I like that. See,
so you know what's funny? I was telling that to Matt. We got the Super NES Classic, and I had it and played it, and I actually want to do more with it. Like I actually haven't played it a tremendous amount.
I've only played mine once.
Well, yeah, it's funny. I got mine the day I got it. I was like playing all the different games, but there's a lot of those games are like you know, Final Fantasy and all that. I want to sit down and play them a little bit. Excuse me, but let's say excuse me for a And anyways, I love those games and nostalgia, but like the newer versions like that, Mario Odyssey, I was watching Mr. Jake Wolf play the other day. It's beautiful, but I honestly don't want to play it. You know what I mean? Like it looks like it reminds me of a Mario the N64. It reminds me of like that Mario, and it's so beautiful, like a really like beautiful version. But I really don't want to play it. I don't think, you know.
I want to play it, but at the same time I don't, because I like collectathons.
Yeah.
I pretty sure I 100%ed Donkey Kong Country, which has way too many collectibles.
I love Donkey Kong Country.
Actually, I know I 100%ed that. What I meant was Donkey Kong 64, which had the 1,000,001 collectibles, I swear.
Yeah.
But like Donkey Kong Country was my very first game, so
Was it really?
I adore it. Yeah.
Well, real quick, this is really take away from Spotlight, but real quick, you guys ever play Rampage on regular Nintendo? Where you had the monkey or the reptile and you climbed up the side of the building and you broke it, like you could punch it and there'd be like the lady, you could pull her out and there'd be like a little tank. Anyways, I loved it. And they came out with a new version on N64, and I don't even know if there's a current version. They're coming out with a movie with The Rock, which was weird to me because I used to love that game. And now they got a movie coming out, and I do not know how I feel about it, but Rampage on Nintendo was like the best. Like Rampage on Nintendo was phenomenal. Not quite sure how I feel about the movie, but it's got like the wolf and the everything. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the movie, man. I love The Rock. I don't know how I feel about that, and that was completely step away from that. But I just thought about that. I won't tell you about that earlier. Sorry. So okay, so you like games that you like can farm and do stuff like that, and because it's like relaxing. What
but
games?
I also love any game that has Batman in it.
Really? So you play the Arkham series?
I love the Arkham series. The only one I didn't like was Arkham Origins for the 3DS. I don't know if it was just a port to PC, but I played the port on it on Steam. It was terrible. I couldn't finish it. I finished every Batman game, but I could not get through that one.
You want to hear something funny? So I started playing Arkham City or whatever, the first one. And
Arkham Asylum is the first that came out. Arkham Origins is the first one in the storyline.
Okay, so I played the first one that came out. What's the first one that came out? Arkham
Asylum.
Okay, so I bought that on PS3. I started playing it, and I got past first little bit of it, like an hour into it. I stopped playing it, and I've never been back to it. Isn't that crazy? And I thought it was fantastic. I just like the game, like the story. I got into Poison Ivy.
You can get him on. Oh yeah, that's actually a good part. It's a difficult fight, but it's a good part.
I know, and I stopped there. I think
you can usually find like the full set of Arkham games, except for the newest one because it's still relatively expensive.
Yeah,
you can usually get them all for like $5 or so on random sales that Steam puts out. because I have them all on Steam. I completed them on PlayStation and on Steam, except for Arkham Knight, which is I actually own for PlayStation 4, but I've never played it on my PlayStation 4 because the network was messing up.
Weird question. Why do you like the Batman so much?
You know, I don't know. Batman's just one of my favorite heroes. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that almost all his villains are mentally evil.
Yeah,
like it's
they're like
a
my
lot
ants.
it's lack of it's a lot of like very twisted beings, and
Yeah,
it's not
like
just
my ants.
people that people that have superpowers or whatever, like with Superman and stuff. These are people who can just break someone by talking with them.
Yeah.
And that fascinates me. I know that probably sounds bad, but like people fascinate me, period. Like, because like with me being asexual, I don't care about sex or anything like that, but I get curious about how other people view their needs and stuff like that, and how they view someone who doesn't need that. Like
Hey, Bray.
kind of runs like not really studies, but you get these random people adding you on Facebook, and they're like all people trying to pick you up or whatever.
Nobody ever friend requests me.
I know guys do it. I don't know if women do it to guys, but I
we
will
don't get
add
those.
every
I had a
single
friend
one of
request
them.
since about 10 years ago.
Hey, I friend requested you.
Wait, you did? Oh no, we're friends though.
Yeah, we're friends on
Yeah,
Facebook.
you my one
Are we?
friend.
Yeah,
Did I get those?
but
I don't think you are. You friends with Gothtini? Me and her were friends.
I didn't think about what your last name is. I could very easily add you on Facebook. I'll do that later. But
I think Mark's talking to you.
I will add the people and I'll listen to them talk about
Thanks,
how
love.
their life is and how they want a wife and all this stuff, and just kind of study how they react to the fact that I'm not interested in that kind of stuff, because I'm just like curious about people to begin with, and that kind of helps with Twitch because you kind of see all the different kinds of personalities too.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny because like you're
Yeah.
interested in that, right? Like, so you like
Mm-hmm.
that side. I'm interested in serial killers, right? So like,
Mhm.
which okay, every time I say that, I feel like you guys are like a little worried. But like
No, I understand
the
it.
mind of serial killers, like the mental disposition and like how they are and why they did the things, what was wrong or genetics or whatever, like that stuff interests me so much. Like forensics, Dexter stuff,
Yeah.
I love. Like I'm telling you guys, like cold case files and all that are probably my favorite shows ever. I could watch murder stuff all the time.
Did
And
you
it's
really?
sad because did you really? Wait, was it Eliania though? Watch Mindhunters?
I don't judge.
Yeah, I really love it. Like there used to be a show called Notorious, and it like was an hour long of everything. And I absolutely loved it. So interesting.
Murder.
I know. I feel like it's weird that we like. Oh, I love cereal though, too. I really do love cereal, like Lucky Charms, like any kind of like marshmallow cereal. But the problem is, you eat too much marshmallows, you guarantee to get green poop. So I'm running VODs right now, and some kid comes into my chat and is like, "Dude, JT Brown's hosting you. I think I just had some fanboy in here. I'm not even in there. I'm right here." So yeah, Forensic Files, Jade of the Vice. HLN plays Forensic Files like for hours every night. It's awesome. When that stupid Robin Mead lady comes on, I'm like, man, you messing up my Forensic Files vibe. Whenever I get sick and I have to sleep on the couch,
Yeah.
I love Forensic Files. I'll be like, I know how this lady dies.
I say that's one thing I've always like. Everybody, Joe. If I ever need somebody to be killed, I can always count on Joe.
What? I'm not gonna kill somebody, but I would. Okay, I can't. I can never kill. No, listen, I can never kill somebody. I've already screwed it up because I've already told you my interest in killing. So I cannot kill people because you would automatically assume it was me, and I can't go to prison, dude. I am way too soft. You know what I mean?
I can always count. Joe will
Don't
come
worry,
out
they'll
with
toughen
like
you
a
up
butcher's
and
kit
away.
Yep.
and like plastic, and it'll be like let's cut them up. It'll be like Dexter. I'll be like, all right, let's do it.
I'm just saying.
They
I'm
make you
just
a plant,
saying
like
that I'm too
Little
soft
shop
for.
horse.
I am too soft for prison. Okay. No, listen. When I shot Gothtini, it was fictitious. Okay.
Why do you think I stay away from Florida?
So let me ask you that. I know we're coming to get that little car that has like the wheel. We're coming to Oklahoma. All right. So let me ask you this: So you like those are the kind of games you like to play. What about
Pig Farm? Yes.
Come on, y'all been watching too much Hannibal with the pig farm stuff. Get out of here.
It's true.
Listen, Gotthini, you like to watch, you like to play those games. What about games that you watch on YouTube? What type of games are you frequenting with that?
It's like,
Depends on the people. A lot of times I watch games that require multiplayer that are like LAN games because those are something I'll never do because I don't have friends in the area. So I like to watch those, like especially like indie games that require it because of the fact that I can't play it myself. I like to see the gameplay, see how it's done, stuff like that. But I also just really like watching anything that's a new indie game because I love supporting the indie community. I'm actually friends with someone that had a really good, successful Kickstarter for his second game.
That's cool.
I met him by networking on Twitter because I was like, I like your game. I can't wait to stream it because it was like this bullet hell game and it looked really fun. And then he gave me a code to play it and we just started hanging out and he hung out on my streams while I played it and I just got more and more involved with his work. So just like seeing anything that's indie developers because some of them have the most amazing stories. Like this one guy, this is actually kind of really cool. He played this card game, like a physical card game. I think it was like 20 years ago. And he really liked it. And then recently he started looking to see if he could find it again, but it wasn't anywhere to be found. He bought the rights to the game and is making a digital version of it.
That's
because
cool.
he loved the game so much. And that's just amazing.
So speaking of developers, you know, what are your thoughts on 7 Days to Die? You play the game a lot, right? So do you like it? Is it a top 20 game for you?
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
So it is because you said you like building and you like that aspect, right?
I like the building and the scavenging and all that stuff.
So top 10 game for you?
I would say it's probably my top 3.
Wow, that's awesome. So that being said, how much do the fun pips piss you off?
Quite a bit of times. Just like small things that really, really annoy me, but I understand the changes. I just don't like them.
Yeah.
Like the whole electricity thing, I understand it and it makes sense as to you can't just have lights that turn on by themselves. But as far as building, I just want to put a light and have it light up. I don't want to have to do the whole wiring thing.
It's funny you said that, right? Because I was doing something. I don't remember what it was. I was doing something, and like it wasn't like a playthrough. It wasn't on. It obviously wasn't on stream. It wasn't on stream. It was something in my own. And I wanted to test something, and I went somewhere, and I was building this base real quick, and I was trying to test something, and I needed lights, and I put it up, and I go, no, the light not working. And I like completely blanked out that you gotta put a generator and run cords and put gasoline engine. Like, oh god dang it! Why can't I have like a POI light and just throw it up real quick? You know?
Yeah.
So I get it. I get that. But at the same time, I like where it's at with electricity. I think some of the changes were harder. You think the A16's grown on you the further you've gone? Because you were like, you did not like. Okay. Yeah, you were pretty vocal about like wandering hordes and sleepers and all that.
Yeah, I still don't like those very much.
Yeah, I think you think part of it's the AI, the terrible AI at times.
Yeah, the AI, and they fixed one of my really big issues, which was sleepers spawning behind me when I'm already in the room and had cleared it. That was the most annoying thing ever. But that was fixed in recent patches, if I remember right. And so that's a lot better, and so that's fine. Wandering hordes still kind of annoy me, but it's not as bad. Like, it's worse when I'm on, like, say, the sub server or something like that, because I'm not on it as much, and so wandering hordes could be pretty devastating to my stuff because it's a higher level.
If you're nearby somebody that's higher level, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, like, the problem was with game stage was really a big change in 16. They really leaned more towards like the game stage stuff, and like so when people were getting on like sub servers, everybody would go to like a town and build in the town. If you happen to be by that town, you're screwed, because if that guy was playing like, well, it was like when we played on Drunk Enough server. We got the next time we got on the stream, and it advanced like 25 hours, and I was like, what the, luckily we were far enough away and it wasn't a big deal, but like that does create a problem. But that aspect of the game stage I really like, because your game is not as challenging when you start out, and it gets challenging.
Is really nice.
Yeah, so I do like game stage, to a degree now, but like
I feel like I get a lot of bears at the beginning of the game. Bears do not like my places.
And you know what though? It could just be the way the programming is not like perfect and all that kind of stuff like that. I think part of the problems I have like the zombies is like the AI is like ugh, sometimes like it just does not work, and so it takes away from it. And I get like it's frustrating to have like a zombie pop up on you behind in a place in a building. I think that sometimes we want that AAA quality every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I want that AAA perfection of something, but then I have to also realize that I can do things in 7 days that I cannot do in like 95% of the games that I've seen out there.
Yeah.
And I love that aspect of it. So, I hate Torches and Candles because all tons of screamers pisses me off. Well, what's frustrating about that is you're starting out.
That's all you have.
That's what you have.
Yeah.
Right? So it's frustrating. So, mods. What are your feelings on mods? Do you prefer vanilla, or do you like mod it?
I
hate the dog and bear
actually
horde.
really like Settlers mod more than vanilla, except for I'm not a fan of the Horde Night because I don't like having leprechauns.
See,
I don't like having the extra zombies in it.
See, I like, and the funny thing is, I like that about Settlers mod is that I like the leprechauns, because I think that I love the added. I like the way he's done it. I like the way that it is. Like,
yeah, they look really cool and they function really cool. But when you're on the server by yourself, they're really annoying.
Oh yeah, I mean I get that. But you have to admit, right? So you played multiple mods. That mod is actually like that Horde Night is probably the most smoothest dialed in Horde Night. It's entire night. You know what I mean?
It's like in a way, it's like Alpha 15 was. It went pretty much the whole night then. I mean, it goes a little longer, but it's the way Horde was in 15, and I prefer that.
Yeah,
I really liked that better.
It's weird. Like, there are things that I miss about Alpha 15. I know Cybernetic said he's not looking forward to the changes. Maybe cool, but the blank sandbox game aspect. Yeah, and I get it. I kind of feel like the Fun Pimps have been saying for a while that they want more of the RPG element of it. More of the, direction, and that it isn't such an open. I could be wrong, guys. I could be completely wrong, but I thought that they weren't really saying that it was going to be like open as much. I mean, it's still really open. Like, okay, so like the housing, Gotthini, you were saying that you did not like.
Yeah, I don't like the dungeon thing. That kind of, I understand it, but I think I would like it more in stores than I would in houses.
Well, okay, but like the thing is like there's the dungeon crawl now to like the houses, like they do the skyscrapers, but you can still just hammer into the front door if you wanted to, Yeah. I mean, you can still break a window. I mean, there's going to be bars on them, so it's going to be more challenging to do it at the earlier stages, but it's still there. Like, you can still tackle it like an open way, I guess. They're not limiting that. It's just that if you do like the limited or you do like the open more, they are putting some things on a path. Like, for example, we talked about the perks. You have to take certain perks, guys. You just really do. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't. It's funny everyone talks about that. My last Horde Night vanilla game was really slow, but before that, all my Horde Nights lasted the whole night. That's weird. That's the other thing I've noticed that on like vanilla, sometimes it seems a little inconsistent sometimes too. Like I don't know, something like code, like certain game stage, all of a sudden it like doesn't work like you would think it would. Now, Gotthini, I've got to interact sometimes with your mom a little bit. At one point we called her the ceiling teeny mom.
Yeah,
so
she actually asked me if this was going to be a video that she could watch later.
Where's she? So is she not around?
She's actually out there in the living room.
Man, I like to
I
say
have
hi.
my door closed, but I mean, I can have her come in, but she's kind of shy.
Well, if she's too shy, then that's fine. But it would be awesome to be like, "Hey, mom."
Hold on a second.
You know, she may not want to, but if she did, we would not be opposed to a little slight hello wave in the doorway, little cameo through the doorway. The reason why I say that, guys, is like Gothtini's mom. It's been a couple times, like when Gothtini was sick. You know, her mom tweeted at us on Twitter. I was like, "Oh, thank God for telling us." You know, she's like, the whole family's sick, and I was like, "That's pretty awesome." That's weird, Spectre. Like, that's game. That's something on game. You know, like something weird about that with the vanilla. I hope in the next patch we see or alpha that we see like some improvements, you know, like some improvements to the just like I think if they were like to come out with a little bit of the cars and a little bit of the
thing with this patch is they try to do too many things at once.
Big system changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the big system changes are great, but they put in like 1 or 2 big system changes at once, and all those big systems interact with each other.
Yes.
So they should have just done like, say, the electricity this time, and then the sleeper thing next time.
Yeah.
I'm out the way.
I think that we're gonna see A18 be a big system change too, like a lot of changes for A18. Yep. Let me ask you something about this. So going back to the like wheelchair stuff, we used to joke around about the ADA stuff. Do you find in games that there's a lot of not very much representation of wheelchair type stuff, or like you don't ever see things?
There really isn't.
Oh God, your door's moving. Screaming me out.
I messaged my mom and so she's coming in.
You're awesome.
They say you're awesome.
Thank you for coming in. You are amazing. Seriously. But your door
you're amazing.
Literally, your door just creeped me out, Gothtini, because it started to creak open, and I was like, "What is happening?" Hi, Ceiling Gothtini's mom. How are you?
Ceiling Gothtini's mom. How are you? Talk.
No.
She sounds a lot like me too. It's kind of funny.
Hey, look, guys, Beer Brigade spotlight, and we got not 1 but 2. Can we get some hype in the channel?
Get some hype
for her mom coming on. We really appreciate that. That means a tremendous amount. I was telling them how awesome you were.
Now.
So.
Bye.
So that's awesome. Your mom seriously kicks ass. So I hate to break it. She probably just upstaged the awesome Gothtini. So,
everyone loves my mom. It's fine.
Oh, what were we saying? Your mom, like, first the door really creeped me out because
I know.
I looked up and I was like,
oh, your door is really hard to see.
I was like, run, Gothtini. Then I was like, wait a minute. So, like, in regards to like, you know, like, disabilities and stuff like that, you know, knowing you, I get to think about it. There's a lot of, I feel like, not very much representation of that in games. Like, you make comments like, it'd be cool to see like a wheelchair in something, or, and I'm like, you know, that would be neat. Like, we don't see that a lot in games.
Actually, one thing that I really like that they did in 7 Days to Die is they made elevators. Granted, they're not working elevators, but they made it look like an actual elevator in the skyscrapers, to where it would be something I would see in a real thing and have to use. So that was really cool to me. The other thing that's kind of like that is there really isn't much far as wheelchairs and stuff like that as like props or whatever. But there's a new game that's come out called Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah, that's what Brown Bear's saying.
Yeah, that has you playing as a guy in a wheelchair for a while, and I really want to play that just because of that. Cool. But I also watched a preview thing of it, and the people who did the animation stuff have never been in a wheelchair. It's just like, wheelchairs do not move that well.
It's like an action movie. You see some like Bruce Willis like doing an action movie, and you're like, okay, you cannot do that. You cannot jump 20 feet from one building to the other, Bruce Willis, right? So it's like that kind of animations where it's ridiculous. Then he gets a mech suit. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, you know, I think that, like, for example, remember I was going back to what I was saying about like my kids. I don't remember if it was my son or my daughter, but like when we, like my oldest son, I remember vividly being somewhere and there was a guy in a wheelchair, and I looked over and my son was like, because he was curious, you know, And I get the thinking, like, to break that barrier sometimes, take like a disability aside, not being in a wheelchair. You don't just randomly ask people about their lives anyway.
Yeah.
It's not like you just go up to someone and go, hey man, so what's going on? Your ear's bigger than the other one. Why is that? You don't do that. So I'm not saying just because you're disabled or you see someone in a wheelchair that there should be like this thing where they have to ask. Well, mind your own damn business. But you have to admit that it's something different, so it does pique curiosity. And like for like my children and stuff like that, naturally, innocently, they see stuff.
Stare.
Yeah, and they don't know, right? And
like, as far as that kind of stuff, kids staring does not bother me one bit. I understand the curiosity and all that stuff. What bothers me is when adults stare.
Really?
'Cause I've been in the wheelchair since I was 11.
Yeah.
And so adults will stare and be like, what's wrong with that little girl?
Yeah.
And even now, like, I think that may have been part of the reason I started going goth is I wanted to give them a reason to stare.
Yeah. Wow. So I was gonna remember saying that. Well, I kind of want to touch on that, but like to go back to the kid thing. Do you think that putting like more like stuff in like video games that makes it where it's more people see it and know it and it's natural, that maybe when like a kid sees it, it's not something that they're not like, you know, oh, blah, 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 or what is that over there? Because they see it and they're more, it's something that they kind of learn as they see, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I really do think there should be more of a representation in games because it would definitely help. Like,
The Fox.
there are times that people,
Hey, Fox.
like, say our age, don't even realize people my age are in wheelchairs. Like, the sad part is a lot of people who are disabled tend to become hermits, which I have done. But
I mean, I think it's
so you
easy,
don't
right, to do that.
yeah, it's a lot easier to do that, especially with the internet and stuff. You have everything at your fingertips. But, like, you don't go out and you don't see people who are disabled, and so it doesn't really click that there are disabled people. Like, say you lived in a town that is mostly one religion or mostly one race,
Yeah.
and then you
Up 2 fingers.
tend to forget that there's another race or religion just because it's what you're used to.
Yeah, it's just
And a
natural
lot of
for
people,
you.
yeah, a lot of people don't have like minds that work about thinking about everything that there is. They just think about their own area. And so if they don't see people who are disabled, they don't think to put them in. And so one thing I like, there was a guy who did an animation that went viral that evidently got hired by Disney. He did an animation where this kid got a dog who had 3 legs, and it turns out that he had 1.5 legs, so he had crutches. And it was all about him accepting someone else that's different and all that kind of stuff. It was a really sweet animation, and just the fact that they had that kind of thing was like really touching. It's starting to show that people are starting to think more of other people than just their own lives, which is really cool.
So it's funny, when my mom was, when she got really sick and towards the end, before she passed away, she was in the process of writing a children's book series and was looking at getting it animated. And she called it Ollie the Octopus. And it was an octopus that had like, I think actually a book's been written since then with this type of thing. But it was an octopus that had missing tentacles. And so it was whatever. And so she actually came up with these different storylines of these different sea creatures that had different disabilities. And she was actually in the process of looking at getting it animated, or not animated, but illustrated by somebody and looking to get it published. And she had actually submitted the first one to a couple different publishers. Then she ended up passing away. And then I was telling somebody about that story, and they said that there was actually a series very similar to that was created after my mom was doing that. And I thought, wow, that was like, first of all, who did my mom say that to, that it got created? Yeah. And secondly, thought that was really cool. But my mom was really big about that. But I want to go back to something about the adults that you had said. Mm-hmm. You know, you said you get upset when adults look too, and I could definitely understand that and agree. But you ever think that sometimes even our own, maybe naivety or innocence that sometimes adults are looking at too and not judging, but they're also curious as well, maybe sometimes.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it
the
right.
thing-
Doesn't make it
The
right.
thing is about them that bothers me is a lot of times, especially down here, is the fact that I am a woman in a wheelchair. And like I said before, men don't treat women here correctly. They are very disrespectful.
Man, I'm not
And
moving to
so-
Oklahoma, by the way.
yeah, I'd stay away from Oklahoma. But they tend to have this look of like, why are you out and about? There's times where it's really curiosity and stuff like that, but at that point, it kind of feels like it's okay to ask because you understand how to word things correctly, where little kids are just like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
But with the adults, a lot of times it just feels more rude than anything else because they would just
Wow,
be
clowns.
like staring at my leg braces or whatever constantly. And it becomes this thing of like, okay, I'm a person up here. It's not just a wheelchair. And so it's one of those kind of tricky situations, really.
Yeah, I'm a very with my ADD, I'm a very curious. I'm a very curious individual. I get distracted and I will look at different things and I'm kind of all over the place sometimes. And so the reason why I say that is there have probably been times that I've seen somebody that I look at something and I'm curious and then I realize that I might be being rude, and I don't ever want to be that way. But genuinely, naturally, I'm curious about things too sometimes. And a lot of times, none of your damn business, for damn sure. That's the thing that I have to kind of understand. But sometimes I'm curious too. Like I want to know more. Like with you, for example, like you gave us like your X-rays like that. Like that's intriguing. That's something interesting to me, because you're in a wheelchair. Why are you in a wheelchair? Because of your hips. And then like you show us like the thing, and I'm like, wow, that is crazy. And it's yeah, kids have no filter, that's for sure. And it's crazy because it's like, it like you see that and I want to ask, and then I'm like, well, it's none of my business. You need to mind your own business, Joe. And it's tricky, I'm trying to defend myself sometimes, but I know that I probably have been guilty of doing that just out of curiosity. But I will say this, because this is interesting to me. I'm gonna tell a little something here. So where we're at, honestly, like people with disabilities or different colors, there's all kinds of cultures here. There's not really like there's a heavy Spanish culture here. There's a big Mexican culture here, a big Cuban. I'm Cuban, so Cubans there's like a really big Cuban culture in Tampa. But like there's like people all colors and all types of cultures, right? I mean, you got people doing Santeria, you got like really heavy Catholics, different religions, different like like sexual orientations and all that kind of stuff. All that, I mean, it is very, and I grew up that way. Like none of that, all of it's second nature to us. Like nothing like is like. Nothing seems, none of that stuff seems weird to me, okay? And I remember going to Missouri, my ex-wife, her brother was, we went, he was probably about 10 or 11. And they live in a very small community, right? A small town in Missouri. And I guess it's a predominantly white town. And I remember taking him to like St. Louis, and we went to the mall. We're walking out, and he goes, "Oh my God, look, black people!" And I went, I about fell over, like fell over, like I was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, I said, "What is wrong with you?" I said, "Why would you even say that? I go, that's a person. That's not a. Why are you even pointing something like that out? Like that is like I don't understand that." And he didn't know any better because that was what he was raised in. And I still can't believe to this day that there are people that are oblivious to disabilities or different, like that there are people that are gay or lesbian or bi, or that people believe in different religions. And there's people that practice like, some of these really extreme religions, some that don't, that there's different races and cultures. Because I guess I'm in an area where it's not like that, and thankfully, like my children, like my kids don't know. I mean, it's a person is a person, and
It's true, Fox.
It's just crazy that still exists, and that was like not even so long ago. If Joe was the only Cuban in Tampa, he would be a really big Cuban culture. My daughter's born with cerebral palsy, and she is wheelchair bound. Working for a hospital, I see a lot of people in wheelchairs so who are afraid to make eye contact. I always try to give them a smile and head nods. They know not everyone's nosy or rude. Yeah, Funk, I agree, man.
Icon King.
See, hold on a second, I'm catching up. I've seen anyone from another color until I was 18, joined the army, all a matter of where you live. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Hey, Icon King. By my old categories. Yeah, Malgus, you know, we talk about that. Matt and I talk about that. I made the comment the other day about like my uncle's father, and then like, you know, even like Matt's family going back, you know, it's just the way that culture was for many years. A smile can make a difference. Yeah. I think that's kind of like, you know, I deal with my own like disabilities when it comes to, I deal with like different things like my OCD. Like, you guys don't know the full extreme of my OCD, right? Or like ADD. You guys don't know that. Like, we
I
joke.
understand the texture part.
Yeah, we joke
'Cause I
about
actually have
like
that too.
on stream about like, I don't like this. You guys have not been somewhere where I've been like, I can't do it. I cannot do that. That's just me. And you guys don't see it, and it's okay. Ava, hold on a second. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
So because I deal with my own things, when I see people that have something going on, like I feel like, you know, like Fungus said, you kind of want to just be like, hey man, we all got things going on. You know what I mean? Like, we're all different and unique. It's what makes us unique. But it's definitely interesting. Streaming for me helps a bit with that damn green screen. I know, man, it bothers me. Like, I feel it pulling on my chair. But like, like streaming helps me. Hold on, guys, let me see what she says here. All right, let me go deal with my daughter real quick. She's got something going. Hold on,
Okay. That's fine.
She had an upset stomach or whatever. Is that not working either tonight? Good lord. Okay, third PC was working fine, and then Skype destroyed it. Literally caught it on fire.
They didn't literally catch him on fire. So.
I don't know. I'm just so hot.
One of the web runs, hopefully this week. Hopefully, thank you for the bits. Yeah, hopefully the web run's coming this week. We haven't heard from them. I mean, we did that on this week. We tweeted at them. But we haven't heard. We haven't. They sold out at TwitchCon, so we're just waiting for them to get more in. So we're just waiting.
Julie, tell us how you feel about BGG overnights.
Skype ruined the third computer. We have to spend tonight getting the capture cards to work again so we can play tomorrow. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Aw, Peter. Well, I like hats to begin with, and I just kind of started wearing a fedora when I was a senior in high school, and I just kept doing it. Plus, not too long after that was when Michael Jackson died, and I am a huge Michael Jackson fan.
Oh, nice.
So fedoras came out a lot more then, and I was just like, yay, all the fedoras!
Yeah, alright. Yeah, it'll be a day stream tomorrow. 8 until...
Sean Strife could probably answer any questions because he's known me forever. I've been friends with him since 7th grade, 8th grade.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we met online and in an AOL chat room, and we just kind of stuck.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nice to meet you, Sean.
I actually was able to meet him in person for my 21st birthday. We went out to Tennessee.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. I got to go to my very first Chuck E. Cheese there. I had never been to Chuck E. Cheese, and I wanted to go.
Chuck
So I was
E. Cheese.
curious. It was terrible, but the day was fun.
How was it terrible?
It was really bad pizza, and someone stole half our tokens.
You beat them up?
No, I didn't know. I don't know who did it. We set the cup down next to us as we were playing a game, and someone just swiped it while we were doing it.
What temperature is it around Disney? December? Hot. They're probably like in the 80s, honestly, here. Unfortunately, welcome to Florida. You may get lucky, and if there's a cold, the crazy part is we've had some cold fronts coming through. And that's kind of why I'm sick a little bit, besides them being sick. We've had some cold fronts come through, and it's been like 60s and 70s, but I mean, for the most part, you're probably gonna be in the 80s.
I have not tried Dave and Buster's yet.
We just got our first Dave and Buster's in our area. Like, it just opened up like
I know there's a couple
a week or
like
two ago.
2 hours away from here, so we could go to one potentially, but I don't drink either, so it's like, do I want to deal with drinking people?
Being the third party under 7 days at iServer.
Well, I think what actually started that was the fact that you guys moved the prison build to the mod server itself. And so we were on anyway, and I just kind of started helping because I wanted to like put props in and stuff. And then I just kind of got stuck in the job.
Pretty much. And she just slowly like learned the ways of.
She knows how to deal with us.
How to deal with
Joe.
There's a reason I always have a home away from you guys, so I don't mess up your stuff.
Yeah, she's kind of learned how to like, you know, she's kind of like learned how to rip everyone's ears. Joe's back.
What's up, I drop?
She's like just learned how to like kind of deal with me. So I mean, I am definitely a difficult person to deal with. Does anybody in chat have any questions for Gothtini? Anybody want to ask anything? Sorry, my daughter's got an upset stomach, so
That's okay.
I was like, this is me.
We can't have another roll of sickness.
Hey, I go, you got to poop? She's like, no. I go, you got to fart? She goes, no, Dad. I was like, sometimes I just got to fart and I feel better. She's like, no. I go, you got to throw up? And she goes, no. I go, how low is the pain? And she's like, it's up in my belly. It feels like I'm hungry. And I go, you want to eat something? She's like, but I'm not. I go, okay, you don't want to eat nothing? I was like, sometimes if I take my knees and I tuck them up to my belly, I feel better. And then I got her some Pepto. So I didn't know what to do. Let us discuss how it feels when your stream mates kill you during Horde Night. I don't think that's really like a thing. I don't think she feels
Hello, Joshua.
anything. I think she feels nothingness.
I feel annoyance, but I move on with my life.
I will tell her. I will move her. I pretty much said the parenting. Always wonder about the elusive Gothtini. If I sub to you this Wednesday, will you kill Joe? No, that's not a thing. Never trust a fart.
Oh, speak a little off subject.
I mean, I might by accident.
A little off subject. When I was at the house today,
Yeah.
I saw the thing on TV. There's a TV show called Dual Survival. I don't know if anybody in the chat's ever seen it. Guess what the people's names on the show is?
Who's in here? Joe and Matt.
Joe and Matt.
Really?
It's two guys. It's a TV show called Dual Survival on the Discovery Channel or whatever. It's two guys, and their name's Joe and Matt.
What are they doing?
They're
Probably Joe dying constantly, breaking his leg.
You seen it, Jay?
Well,
It's they land like in this like they
I feel like we should hit him with the copyright infringement.
They land like in this area.
My name is trademark. Joe is trademark.
I don't know. I just watched a few minutes of it. They land like in this area and they have like a raft or something like, and they have to like survive for so many days or something. I don't know.
Is it real though, or is
I
it?
I don't know. First time I've seen it. First time I've seen it.
It's probably your typical Bear Grylls staying in a hotel on the weekend.
I don't know. Yeah, because some of these people have seen it. I don't know.
Been around for years, but is it real or is it like?
I just saw it and the one guy's like, "So Joe," I'm like, "Oh, you guys ain't
Malgus,
Joe."
like everything is scripted.
Like,
it's ridiculous.
The guy's like, I'm gonna go ask Matt. I'm like,
thanks, Leroy.
What? The guy's name's Joe and Matt.
And were they really handsome?
They were two like pretty buff, good-looking dudes. I'm like,
yeah.
What?
Dude, we should totally
It's
get
the
a
alternate
lawyer.
reality.
We need to get a lawyer involved. It sounds like two buff dudes named Joe and Matt. I am pretty sure that.
Here, look. Here.
It used to be Joe and Cody, then Cody left and Matt came in. Get out of here.
Is that what it was?
I was gonna stream with this guy named Cody.
Cody's my middle name. I'm just kidding.
I think that's them. That looks just like us.
That's them.
That looks just like us.
Those are some pretty good-looking dudes.
I'm same way, guys. What if we did a survival? Would you guys watch it?
They both have beards, and it looks like one of them is bald. So, I mean, it kind of fits.
What if we did like you drop Matt and I in like a Walmart in the nighttime?
That's Cody. That's the guy that used to be there.
What if they drop me and Matt in a Walmart at night? Okay, and then we try to survive. How would you guys feel about that? You guys think that would be cool? I think that'd be cool.
I mean, they usually clean the floors at night, so you would be sliding all around. So yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd be like, the guy would come out with the floor cleaner. He'd be like, "Give me a third. You move, please." I'd be like, this is not as scary as I thought it was gonna be."
Like,
what? Settle down. Look at all how handsome the guys are.
But I'm saying, that's pretty cool though. I think it looks like
do an urban survival St. Petersburg edition or Ebor. I don't think I'll do really good. Turn on ESPN and grab a bag of flaming hot lemon lime Cheetos, dude. That would totally be us, man. Would the Walmart survive though?
Joey's just looking for snacks.
Shit, hey, listen, settle down, okay? I can't help it that I eat it. Look how many candy hearts I have left. It's almost gone. It is literally like a little. It's a little pinch.
Joe's about to be hitting up the Amazon wish list again.
I don't know if my teeth can handle it, dude.
Thank God.
I ate 2 bags of these things, and I am pretty sure my teeth can handle it.
Next thing on the Amazon wish list, toothbrush.
No. Kayla Jean, no. I have to wear shoes, man. I cannot not wear shoes. No, I go out to the mailbox, and I'm like, ow.
No, wasn't it? It was Cody that didn't wear shoes, though. Cody didn't wear shoes, though, right?
Cody's gone now. How's your gut handling it? Man, I got an iron gut. You still have the candy corn? I'm about eating all that, too. So, does anybody have any questions for Gothtini, guys? Anything exciting anybody wants to ask?
All right, Fox. Have a good night.
I think we're going to round up. Gothtini, you got any questions for us?
Not that I can think of.
Matt and I've got to figure out why our video wasn't working, so I think we're gonna kind of run up to an end point here. Minecon Earth tomorrow. Minecon tomorrow? Oh, all 3 are gonna play tomorrow AM. Gothtini probably won't be up.
Gotthini will be asleep.
I'll probably be asleep.
Yeah, Gotthini usually sleeps in the morning time.
Like 3 or 4 a.m. and don't get up till like noon.
And
my time.
We're hoping we're starting at 8 o'clock. We got to figure out what's going on with the PC.
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do.
I think what we're gonna do is we're going to go raid somebody real quick. We'll shut down the whole stream PCs, try to fire it up without Skype starting this time and see if the drivers are okay. If not, we got to redo those. And main question, will you ever stop shooting me? That's not the question she asked.
That's a very good question for me to ask, but I already know the answer.
So, Malgus, you're not even supposed to be here on Saturdays anyway, dude. You're not even supposed to be here on Saturdays.
Yeah, Malgus. Don't worry about it.
So anyways, guys, we're going to raid somebody up. We're going to find somebody. Gothtini, you were an amazing person to have. You know my love for you, so thank you very much. Tell your mom thank you for showing up tonight, too. That was pretty awesome.
Thank you, Gothtini.
So Miss B's going to have to watch the VOD. She's been taking care of the kids and all that. So, again, thank you to Gothtini very, 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 very much. We're going to do a raid on somebody.
Bye.